Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It's bizarre that it does that because on my desktop it doesn't do that.
Yeah, it doesn't do that. It doesn't do that for me on any of my stuff. It's just
Easy.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know enough about anything actually. No, but in particular about like audio quality stuff. Like I'm still, I don't need to know more than I currently do for anything pressing. It's only against,
Presage.
It's only in the face of adversity can we truly learn things.
Okay.
Like if you're like
that's why they let people get bullied in school.
Mm-hmm. Like if you had powers. If you're in a life-threatening situation, they may present themselves.
They could.
So that's why I do risky things. I date on Craigslist to activate my power. Oh my God. God, that'd be terrible. No, it's just a pain in the ass. I don't even want to pretend like we're cordial right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got to be honest. I'm a little bummed. I'm having a little bit of a summer bummer, if you will.
I don't blame you. I
didn't think I would be.
I didn't want this, and now every time I look at it, I'll know.
I didn't mean for us, like the way that we mixed. I figured it would be fine.
Right.
But like I thought I could handle it. I thought it would be all right, and like maybe that's a possibility, but like not really. It'll probably be fine. Like it'll change, and then we can go back.
But then you can't go back with some things.
No, you can't.
Some things can't go back.
Like especially if it's a special thing.
Right.
That like we shared.
Sometimes you don't get lucky.
No, I did. I did.
Sometimes you don't
get
it back. You don't get lucky back.
No, I gave you my luck.
Yeah.
Anyway, I traded a shiny Pokemon to him to so that it would evolve via trade.
One of the trade ones
to save 100 candy.
And we did not realize that you could then not trade the Pokemon back.
Mm-hmm.
Trades are...
You can't trade a traded Pokemon. Like a Pokemon could only be ever traded once, I believe.
Yes. So I now...
own a shiny Conkeldurr.
I now have a shiny lucky Conkeldurr.
Which, I mean, kind of cool. Could be good.
It's cool. I appreciate it. I did not... This is not what was supposed to happen.
I was just doing it for the dex, so you ended up just... Luckily, you actually had one, though. Or you had the Timber.
I had the Timber, yeah.
So... that was good. And then what was the other thing we traded?
Pumpkaboo for...
No, the first trade, though. Oh, I guess it was that.
Conkeldurr.
Yeah, it was Conkeldurr. What did I give you? Or what'd you give me?
I gave you Cresselia.
That's right, yeah.
I gave you Cresselia.
We're like, keeping the decks is good. All that fun stuff.
Hell yeah.
Podcast.
Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go.
Welcome back to the Pokemon Go hour of the Hell Yeah podcast.
I'm your host, Roaring Raichu 97.
And I'm your other host, Lauren Walters, but not that one.
Mm-hmm. There's a real Lauren
There's
Walters.
no relations.
That's just identity theft. Oh my God. It's been a long week.
Yes, man.
It's been 1 week since we talked to you.
Yeah.
Looked you in the eyes and said,
welcome.
Guess who pooed?
Yeah.
Enrique comes over.
Uh-huh.
And Cecilia goes, or he was just like, oh, he's like, yeah, Lucy's good. And I'm like, did you ever poop in the house? And she goes, are you one to say that? And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Because I was like, yeah, like Lucy pooped in my bed once. And he goes, that's terrible. And she goes, is it as bad as what you did? And I'm like, first of all,
that was your own mess, though.
My own mess. Exactly. Outside, and I cleaned it up.
Yeah, you didn't make a mess for somebody else.
No, and it wasn't like I had explosive diarrhea.
Yeah.
And then she told him, and I'm like,
also, no one ever told you that you shouldn't.
What?
Shit yourself.
That's right.
No one ever told you that.
It's not illegal.
You weren't trained to not do that. So how could you know any better? She's been trained to go outside.
Uh-huh.
So
she knows how to ask. And she doesn't. Like everything that dog does, Lucy the pug does things maliciously. Like she full on is like, I have no energy. I need to just become a pillow pet for the next day. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh, I'm going to have one Dorito. And she's going to go. It's like she's using in the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson in the Big Cosmere. There's a the big thing is like allomancy, which is people who are mistborn or mistborn can use all of them. Misting could use one.
Oh, Misting.
Where you can
Misting can only use one.
You might actually like it only because like
they got
cool
names.
Interesting. Well, that's Stormlight Archive. Mistborn's a different.
No, but you're talking about this too. Isn't there like powers based in metal or whatever?
Yeah, ingesting metals, and they have really cool names like people who like do emotions, like you like soothe emotions, or you could cancers. You could riot people, like people who burn pewter are called thugs. People who like push are considered coin shots.
Are they called sapphire?
No, they're not. It's a really cool like seedy underbelly kind of shit. But it's funny because I'm caught up on Stormlight Archive, and so because like the Cosmere works are all like in a big shared universe, I technically know the identity of one character in Stormlight, and it's like this person is here, and I'm like, how does he get to there? What happens?
America, explain.
Exactly, it is explained. Very very brain, but Sazed talks about how there's like allomancy is like you ingest the metals, whatever. But then the Terracemen, spoilers for Mistborn, a book that's been out forever, is furochemy, where it's like
I love
instead of ingesting metals, it's like you could store energy into different metals and then bring it back out. So it's like you could essentially always look young if you like spent a lot of time as old.
Okay.
And so like you like there's like talks of like how like Terracemen can like lift something that no human should possibly be able to lift, but it's because they spent a week to have all
like
their
save
strength.
It all up.
Yeah, like you ever like want to like
they made like a battery of whatever the thing is,
exactly,
store it up in there.
Okay. And like Sazed himself, he knows everything about like all these different like he's like collecting all of the world's religions, even though you should just the only religion is about the Lord Ruler, of course. There's only one religion, but his is like he uses like all of his earrings and stuff, which like is risky because it's like allomancers could fuck with it, but it's like I'm able to basically store the memories. Like I have all the memories of my people, like and everything. Like we have a place that we like go and like put it written down, but like technically like someone like him would be considered valuable if they knew that he knew everything. He has the memories of all the people that came before him and whatnot because it's all stored in like the metals. So it was really cool. But I figured like that was like a really cool like being able to like store your stuff or like it's like oh like I'm weak, but it's like I can like pop off, but like I spent my resources. I'll have to like, but it isn't something that you get for free. That's the big thing is like you do pay the cost.
Cold Blood canes for free.
No, you get hot canes and it costs money.
Yeah, as it should be.
No Mako Bowl.
Yeah,
you're going to the Rose Bowl, baby, and that's on fleek.
Almost exactly like that.
Except different.
Except completely different. Did you know that in the like promotion cycle for Halo 4, they made a game called Halo 4 King of the Hill, powered by Mountain Dew, which was...
Is this like one of the Burger King games? Which slapped?
It was incredibly similar to Pokemon Go before Pokemon Go existed. Where you would go to different 7-Elevens and you would scan barcodes of
Mountain Dew.
Doritos or Mountain Dew to power up your level. And you would gain like levels at that 7-Eleven. And then other people would have to go to that 7-Eleven and try to like scan those items as well to like oust you and become the new king of the hill being the 7-Eleven.
This seems like a way to get people to hang out. I mean, we would have been king of the hill at the old 7-Eleven.
This is what I'm saying. I was like, where was this when,
no promotion.
at a different time?
Well, he was busy.
Well, it was also that took place years before we frequented that 7-Eleven, unfortunately.
Not that much more.
A bit.
Yeah.
Halo 4 came out quite a while ago.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I believe Halo 4 came out in 2012. Or something. It was a long
I was
time
thinking
ago.
I'm like Pokemon Go came out in like 2016, like that. Even then, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
No.
Actually, since Pokemon Go was 2016, Halo 4 was probably. It was quite a
still,
ways
but
before.
like it would have been before because like Pokemon Go, when Pokemon Go came out, I think I was still working at the hotel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
I had just left my job at the software place.
Yeah.
And gone to the other job.
Mm-hmm. Your corpo job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
when you were still going to be a little rat.
Despite all my rage.
Hey, don't call it a comeback. It's a sequel. Query. That was not a hate thing.
I wish I was able to write sequel. Well, no, I did. Yeah, I did do sequel.
You know some
queries.
sequel. You know Visual Basic.
I know sequel a lot better than I know Visual Basic. I was saying I wish at that job I had gotten to do more sequel.
You probably would have stayed. Or higher chance. No.
I mean, I would need more money. A lot more money. Because they were exploiting me.
Well, yeah.
Because they hired me on as not a developer. And then immediately were like, hey, do you want to see if you could do development? Literally on my second day, they were like, you have a background of like, more of like tech stuff. Do you want to try development? So I was like, yeah, sure. So I did it. And then a week later they were like, okay, you're going to be full-time development now. Cause like you're good at it. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. I was like, so
am I a developer now?
I was like, so is this like a promotion? They were like, no, like this, we're still, technically like feeling it out. So like you'll be doing full-time development work, but we're going to keep you on still as a coordinator. Just, and then we can reassess down the line. And I was like, oh.
What day?
Right?
What day down the line?
I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do 50 hours a week of, salaried development work for coordinator pay. That's fine.
I love that for me.
And then they acted shocked when I left the job 9 months later.
Crazy. Well, had you had
double
that meeting
the pay.
yet? Which I find fascinating.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Anyway.
I mean, entry level, baby.
And the double the pay, while I was, of course, very grateful, was far less of a statement. That was far less of praise for the new place than it was a problem for the old one. To say that I was able to get double the pay.
So little money there.
It was bad. I barely made anything. But yeah. But it was a job. And I needed it. Because it was fresh out of college and I needed money.
Yeah.
Real bad.
Bills. The Buffalo Bills lose a lot of money on them.
Right. Let's have that conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's sports, baby. I've seen a ball.
I've seen two.
I see them every day. Yours.
When I'm lucky.
Yeah. Are the scales swinging in my favor today? You and me, Anubis, back at it again. Put the feather away. You know it's not today.
Not today.
Not today. Hello.
Hello.
And welcome to the
Hell
Yeah podcast. A podcast about
sports.
Two guys in sports being dudes talking about
7-Eleven,
sports, bitches, beer,
balls, coughing, wheezing,
Nylaw. What else do Alpha Podcasts talk about?
We started talking about beer, boobs, bitches,
breasts, brats,
breast, boobs, and titties and jugs.
Those big old bahonkadonks.
Yes, mommy milkers. Heavy swinging truck nuts.
Oh yeah.
Lifted trucks.
Yeah,
big tires.
The man in the sailboat.
Yeah.
The
boat shoes.
Oh, boat shoes. Those are also good. Chubbies.
Polos.
Polo Ralph Lauren.
Cargo shorts. Tommy Bahama.
Oh. I was going to say the peach ribbon.
I hate that. And I hate that.
I hate it. It's disgusting.
I hate that.
It just feels like wet. But like a like a peach. And not like...
Yeah.
Good peach. I don't know if I drank water too quick, but I got the coffee new.
Yeah, gotcha.
But
it's in there.
Every time that I've had to go somewhere publicly this last 4 days, I've been wearing a mask.
Okay.
Because I have a tattoo appointment on Friday.
Okay.
Which Jordan convinced me to just take a day off.
Yeah.
Because my appointment's at 1. I was like, hey, I'm going to be off at noon. I got to take a half day.
Yeah.
And he's like, why don't you just take the whole day off? And this is in the morning meeting.
Loser.
I know. And I'm like.
That's what he said. He said that.
He did. And we're in the morning meeting on our morning call, our team huddle, which started with COVID because we should be in contact. And although I would love if it was different, most of the time, today, for example, it was a 4-minute meeting. Sometimes we take the full half hour. It just depends. And mostly you're just listening. You haven't been excused yet.
Yeah.
And it's
someone has something.
Whenever I've risked it to check out, as soon as I stepped away is when I got called to talk. And it's just nothing.
To the front of the class.
Yeah. But he's like, you should just take the whole day off. I'm like, well, I mean, I just need to like be off. He goes, just take the whole day off. I'm like, all right, well, I'll be on in the morning and running report. Because like it bothered me if I didn't.
Right.
And like I really don't. I'm like I don't need the whole day off, but I'll take it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I'm like I understand, Jordan. I understand where you're coming from. That like
our
team does not take nearly like we are in a lack of abuse of
right.
the DTO system.
Right.
Like nobody ever takes any time off, and it's like, please guys do. Yeah. We're underreporting.
Yeah.
You can't take it away. It's DTO, baby. You already did.
Ooh. Ooh.
When you, for whatever reason, my brain just went. When you're hitting it from the back and it feels just right, and you're just like, ooh, or you're like
and
a
you
singer
hope they
in a
don't
band.
turn around.
Oh
and
yeah,
see that.
Ooh. The old vinegar strokes.
Well,
maybe unless
could be beef.
It's not.
It's probably not.
Oh, I'm very well aware it's not beef.
Probably not.
So, yeah. So today we do have a few packages, and we have kind of like a little bit of a pile up of questions.
Quite a few questions.
Now, I'm not saying that we get into that right now just yet, but rather giving the viewers at home,
letting them know,
the ones that are receiving the information from their black screen, you know, from their rectangle.
From the black mirror. Yeah, that.
Yeah, I like that. It's my favorite movie.
Black Mirror.
Yeah, this has got to be my favorite aesthetic. Is the yeah. Wow.
Ooh,
But yeah, so we got packages and we'll do questions. So we'll that'll be a bigger part of the day.
I have something for you to listen to.
Perfect. Let's do that, and then I'll tell you about Steve's tech support.
Okay, so I have a little
Diddy
bone removal. I have a this is a voicemail.
That's just pulling out. You have a voice.
Okay.
Are we a radio show now?
Okay, so here's the thing. So have
you opened up a text line for your for your viewers?
No, I received this voicemail, and because a random number came up.
Okay, it's not from me. Got it.
No. Random number came up. I just let it go, and then I saw I had a voicemail, and I listened to this voicemail. I was like,
you don't leave yours full tactically?
No. And I was like, this is crazy.
Okay.
This is crazy to like hear. Like, it's not like super like interesting, but I was just like, that's so bizarre that like this call came to me. So I've edited it slightly to remove any personal information because like we don't need all that. But yeah.
Oh, you already went and edited the file.
Oh, I edited the file.
You uploaded, you downloaded, then uploaded it.
Then upload it. Yeah.
Oh,
so
put that bitch in a mixer.
So I'm gonna play this little voicemail for you.
Okay.
Hi. Excuse me. This is. We actually chatted a couple of years ago. I really would like to discuss a couple things with you. I know my family wasn't interested at the time of being on the Dr. Phil show, but I think that it may be the time now. So if you could please give me a call and please leave me a message, I'll get back to you and maybe we could just have a quick, brief conversation. It's been a little crazy, but I really would. I think I'm ready to go public with what happened. Okay, thanks. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
What happened?
I don't know, and I want to know so bad, and I'll never know.
I mean, I'll call her.
No. But yeah.
I mean, you could always just go, hey, I just want to let you know you got the wrong number, but like, I gotta fucking know.
I was like, this is wild. Just because, like, obviously, like, there's no details or anything. I know nothing about what happened.
Well, apparently
like,
you already do.
Well, we spoke about it a while ago. Apparently.
A few years ago.
But yeah, I was like, that's crazy. I was like, I can't believe, like, I don't know. I've never gotten, like, crazy
What could it be?
Before. I've never gotten a voicemail that was, like, that, like, crazy, like, specific.
Detailed, yeah.
Like, I've gotten, like, wrong call voicemails that, like, were, like, why won't you call me back? Or, like, whatever. Like, something that's, like, completely nondescript. But that I was like, they talked to
That's so weird. Like they accidentally hit the wrong number or something. Yeah. But like I know,
or if it was years ago, maybe they just wrote the number down wrong, but then never. Yeah, it's crazy.
They never knew,
or they're remembering it wrong.
Well, because you've had the same number for quite a few years.
Since as long as I've had a phone.
As long as I've had this, I've had this since like college. This phone number.
I've had this. It's been my same phone number since 6th grade.
Yeah.
I've only ever had one phone number.
Well, like, I think I had a different phone number back in the day. I don't remember. Like when I first got a cell phone, I don't know if I had the same phone number, but
I don't know me.
I do know that there was a woman who had my number before. So yeah, I think I had 2 different numbers. The woman had my number before, like for years, and like 3 years ago, I think was the most recent time that I got a call and got a voicemail saying, "Hola, Lily," and like all in Spanish and everything, which like I wasn't able to parse out much of it, but like I'm just like, I'm not Lily. I haven't been Lily since like 2012. Stop it. Knock it off. It's been a decade. Take a hint. She doesn't want to talk to you, man. But I hope she's doing well. It's like you ever have those?
I hope whatever happened that they were going to go public about, I hope it wasn't too awful.
Well, it's sort of like those I find it fascinating, like where like that woman now has like a fixture in your life in a sense.
Right.
But like she has no idea you exist.
Nope.
She has no reason, but it's like now you got to think about it.
Yeah.
What could it have been? This Lily person, I'm like, I wonder who she was. I want, like, what's she up to? I go to Walgreens and I'll put in my card, and it took like 2 years to finally update that, like, the phone number that I use. They're like, oh, we have 2 accounts with the phone number, Lily, and I'm like, no. They're like, Steven, and I'm like, yes. You're looking at my ID at the same time, my guy. Please, come on.
Well, it's like anytime you move into a new place or move out of a new place or whatever, like mail keeps coming and stuff. And like you never think about it in terms of like the mail you leave behind. You just think about it as like when you move into a new place, you're like you get these weird little glimpses into someone else's life from the mail that's like left over. Yeah. And you never think about the fact that it's like, oh, I also left that in my last place.
Yeah, I'm sure people still got
our last apartment, like whoever's in there now, like they got
I never had the gall to ever go over there and ask them, did you get a package for me?
Yeah.
Because the only thing I was worried about was the Emissary of the Nine hoodie.
Yeah.
But that did get to us. I was able to update it. That's good.
That's good. Yeah, because Bungie takes fucking forever to send anything.
They're like, hey, we're doing pre-orders. Like, oh, well, when's it supposed to ship out? In like 3 years. And it's like, I mean, that's being facetious. So it's typically the next year.
It's still almost a full year.
By the time you actually get it, you forget it. You forget that you even ordered it.
Yeah. Like that, like the Vault of Glass jacket, that was a full year.
That was when you bought the ring.
Yeah, the ring wasn't a full year. The ring they actually got a lot faster. The jacket I didn't get for a year.
Did you buy them in the same order?
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
I'm just really glad that like the ring came sooner because like the ring was what I cared about more. I didn't really want the jacket.
Well, no, COVID was already a thing at the time. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, well, maybe because of COVID, like it delayed it, but like.
But it's still a thing now. Even not that we're post COVID, but like a lot of the.
I'm curious to know how
shipment issues have resolved themselves over time, but that's still Bungie just has a slow cycle.
Yeah, I genuinely wonder. I'm like, is it also because of a massive? I think it's because it's like, this is what it looks like. We get all of the orders and get them all verified, and like we're buying the exact amount.
Yeah, I think in their case it's because like they want it to be exclusive to like you have to have like done the thing to buy it,
and you have to do it in the window
rather than buying like 200,000 of them or whatever, and then just hoping that many people get it and that they don't run out. They don't order it until people have gotten the thing, because otherwise they would
almost
have to,
like they're all custom if they're the ones that have like the names and stuff.
Yeah, because otherwise like they would have to either risk buy too few or buy too many and then have to like clearance the other ones, and then it's like, well, so does then anyone get it? So it's like you can get the Vault of Glass jacket if they overbought and if no one if not enough people claimed it, even if you never did Vault of Glass. And like I don't think they want that.
They wouldn't do that.
So I'm sure that's the thing, is that like they don't print it until they know the numbers.
Yeah. Well, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, even like if you were to do it, I'm sure there's like assembly line stuff where it's smart, like a smart system computers to be like, this has a custom thing on it. It's going to get printed. It's going to get sealed. It's going to get put into a bag that's already pre-printed with the correct label where it's going. But like, I feel like there's also a bit of like a manual setup process for that too. And that's why they can't still just crank it out.
Yeah.
But I mean, I won't complain. It's like every time they do send stuff, even if it's not like the coolest looking stuff, sometimes it's hit and miss. Like it does all feel like high quality. Like none of it has ever like fallen apart or anything.
It's all good.
My only Destiny shirts that look bad are like ones I bought from like Teespring.
Yeah. No, I mean like it's good stuff. It's and it's what it looks like. You know, it's like they make ugly shit. Like right now, like the hockey jacket like looks like shit, but like you can see that from the picture. It's not bad quality. It's just not a style most people would like.
Well, it's not a style you or I would like.
I would say most people.
Josh would like it. Big ups for Josh.
Big ups for Josh, but I don't know if he'd even like it.
I don't know.
I hope not. Oh well,
maybe. I don't know. But then like, there's also people that like actually care about like the manufacturers of the guns in the game,
the foundries,
and I'm like, okay.
I like Amalon, but I only like Amalon because like the general design style is cool, and their color like stories usually purple, blue, white, black and white, like contrast with like blue and purple accents, which is like a great
stuff you fuck with.
It's a great setup. Whereas like hockey is like browns and orange with the occasional green. Although not green. Vice.
If you want to be military though, Milsec loves that shit.
Milsec?
The military sector.
Oh,
that's what I would assume, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I just like use that term like loosely. It wasn't like it's not like a real faction of Destiny or fans or anything. But like, I would assume people that like, you know, more military guys that like, I like that kind of stuff. Like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Tactic jacket.
It's very like desert camo vibe kind of thing. Just not
this one in particular, at least.
Not mine. Yeah, hockey is not like my interest. Vice is like kind of cool and like that like, okay, you're edgy, we get it kind of way of like everything's black and green because it's all like poison.
Yeah. I mean, granted, I used funnel web. Yeah. But I also had my recluse before. So
yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah,
Tex Mechanica, that's just like old school wood shit.
Which Tex Mechanica I don't like because I'm like, well, it's just because it's like it's a future guns and we're gonna go. I got my revolver.
Oh, it's my old western.
Mm-hmm. Well, it took me forever to understand the difference between like a hand cannon and like a sidearm. Because I'm like, aren't they both just like pistols? Mm-hmm. And it's like. You know, I have
hand cannons are revolvers.
Yeah, it's like a big revolver, right? Because I would still say it's still a bit oversized, right? Or is that about what like a 357 Magnum?
It's just a high caliber revolver.
Versus like sidearm shooting 22s or whatever.
9mm.
9mm.
Yeah.
So
sidearms are.
He talks about guns, so that's good. Guns. That means we're alpha.
We're keeping it on brand.
Do you want to? Are you tired of the liberal left canceling you?
Welcome to the.
Buns and Ammo podcast. The Alpha podcast.
We also moonlighted talking about Alf, the show from the 80s.
Because, like, I mean, because those allegations, which they are allegations to be clear, free Alf.
Oh my god.
Actually, I don't know. I don't know. That's some weird shit from the 80s.
What, Alf?
Yeah.
He eats cats, I think. Apparently he's an alien. I know very little about it.
Oh, he's eating my pussy, baby.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
You said we don't need innuendo. We're just gonna say he ate my pussy.
Look, Alf is an alien. He doesn't understand euphemisms. He goes euphemism. He's like, oof.
No, euphemism.
Me fitting you. You know what's funny? Alf's cock, not a single hair. It's just meat,
cheese, and buns.
And my buns. Meat, cheese, and buns. That was disgusting.
Yeah, that was quite the tangent, even for us.
So my father.
Okay.
My father calls me
Alf.
Mm-hmm. My dad is not Alf.
No, he calls you Alf.
Oh. Quit telling people that my dad is Alf. That Alf is my dad, I should say. It's a family photo, and there's Alf.
Keeney's streaming Iron Banana.
Oh, hell yeah.
Everybody, I mean, his obviously not streaming when this posts, but go follow Kenny.
Hey, I just knew that my internet just blipped because I just got a little ring notification. Hell yeah. So my dad got a computer recently.
Okay.
I was at Home Depot.
A personal computer?
Mm-hmm. He got a new one, finally. Like, they've had some old desktop that was like 10 years old. And so he's like, I want something faster. Mm-hmm. And he had a printer with it.
Okay.
Which was fine, I guess, or whatever.
I have thoughts about printers.
But
they can wait.
Yeah, same. My printer doesn't work. It doesn't even connect.
You gotta get that. You gotta get that together.
Yeah, I understand. And I'm unhappy about it. Like, it's frustrating, but also, like, I don't know how to fix it.
Just buy a new one.
I know. But I haven't needed to print anything yet. So
because I've been printing it for you.
That was the only thing that I've had to print.
I've printed 2 things for you.
What was the other thing?
Questions.
Oh, you know what? That's fair.
I printed questions twice, then I printed you an actual thing that you really needed.
I will admit, though, I do think that one of the times that I had you print out questions was mostly like due to time, not necessarily that I couldn't print them out. It was like, shit. But anyway, you're right.
Your father's.
I will get a printer. Okay,
Alf's
I understand.
Personal computer.
Yeah, his AlfNet. It's like the Skynet, but
it's like Hewll's
Alf.
net.
Yeah, you know,
if you have a clear view of the western sky, you too can get Alf.
He's my favorite character in Pikmin.
Yeah, he's
Alf, right? Isn't that his name? Is Alf?
I've never played Pikmin, but that's not true. I played Pikmin one. No,
same. I've played Pikmin
I actually
once.
didn't play Pikmin one time. I watched Josh play Pikmin one time while I was at.
So that's like that's going over to his house to play Pikmin.
Yeah,
like that's what he's doing. What are you doing?
I was going over to play a game with Josh. It was just to say I watched Josh play.
It's called Wait. It's a fun game. A wait and watch. A little wait and see.
Personal computer.
So my dad got this new computer, and he ended up also getting like a printer, and then like there was an issue where like the printer wasn't connecting even if it was physically plugged into the computer.
Okay.
And he goes, and with my dad, there's like, you've met my father once. The way that my dad talks is very there's a part of this is true, but fuck me if I know what actually it is. And like whatever you've blown it up into in your own shit. Because like I love my dad a lot. You know, he's been recovering. He was in the hospital recently and had to get surgery. Got like another stent put in. They got the stent out, put the stent back in, and it's not
the
great.
Left stent in and shake it
right? Yeah. He has congestive heart failure, dude. Like he's not shaking. He shouldn't be shaking anything.
I hope not.
No pokey. No hokey. No pokey. He's going to just sit right there. Although he does need to like, shake it, turn it all around or whatever.
Gotta stay active.
He does. So he got this computer, he got this printer, and the printer doesn't work. And so he calls HP because I guess he had like a credit card, and it was like, we're going to close your card if you don't use the credit. Like you haven't used it at all. He's like, fine, I'll buy a computer. I'm like, okay. Like I'm summing up 100 phone calls for you because like every status update, which like I understand that I used to be like that, and then I realized I will at least have a few new things to say, and if it's like, oh, I've already told you, I'll stop, and like I've gotten better. Or at least I've been making a more concerted effort to like remember that I've talked to people about certain things. That's what I mean, and not to disparage my father at all, but sometimes my dad will tell me the same thing in the same 3-minute phone call like it was the first time he told me. I'm like, Dad, we literally just said this. You just said it. I was looking at the nails 3 inches, three aisles over a few minutes ago. So I'm in Home Depot. Or I'm actually in Lowe's.
Okay.
I was buying the paint, spray adhesive stuff. And then I hotboxed myself in a room because I thought, I'll turn off the ceiling fan so I don't want to breathe in all like the spray glue. Didn't bother to turn on any fans or open a window. So he goes, why didn't you open a window? And I went, the thought never occurred to me. And she's like, you know that you can open windows, right? And I'm like, I've been aware of the technology in theory, but in practice, I'm a little nervous to open window, to crack it. Oh, but if it's raining, I will. Because I want in. I want the rain smell in.
Right.
And
Nothing
the sound
needs to
in.
get out.
Yeah. Why would I want out?
Right.
No. Also, I have a cat, so I always am nervous about leaving like even a little space because he's a shithead. So he ends up telling me that he apparently like did research or something in some capacity and like calls them, and it's like turns out that his printer was actually like recalled and is not legal to be sold in the United States or something. The one that like came with it. And so he's like, I want to like take a nap, but I can't because like they're supposed to come and pick it up and it can happen at any time. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, you could just lay down on the couch. He goes, nah, Kush is sleeping on it. I'm like, Dad, it's a big couch. He goes, nah. I'm like, okay. Whatever. Wild. Fine. And then he's like talking to me. He's like, do you know what this program does? And I'm like, what program, Dad? Because I'm on the phone with you and I can't see your screen.
See.
He goes, Well, I'm wondering, I might have to uninstall all the software that came with my printer because, like, if they're going to send me a new one, like, I don't want it to, like, mess up. And I'm like, well, if it's just software, I'm like, you could just leave it and see if it ends up working with the new, like, to print off photos and stuff. Like,
right.
If it's the same brand, it more than likely, if you uninstall it, it's just going to make you reinstall it. And he goes, no, like, I'm like, okay, like, then uninstall it. Like, yeah, like I don't care what you do. Do whatever you want. Like, you just are, like, concerned. Like, he's saying it with, like urgency.
Right.
That, like, a decision needs to be made now. And I'm like, okay, like, whatever works. And he goes, yeah. He goes, and I'm like, looking to see what this does. Although I can't, like, click out of it. And I'm like, I made the mistake of trying to help him via, like, I can't see anything. And then I was like, Dad, actually, you can do it through just, like, the internet browser, or you can download it. But I'm like, my dad does have Discord on his phone. Mm-hmm. And I was like, Dad, why don't you download or use the web version of Discord? We can always get on a call, and you can share your screen with me. And so that when you have computer issues, I can help you.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, well, you don't have to do that. I'm like, Dad, sweet father, Alf. I'm like, yo, Alf, this ain't the 80s anymore, baby. I'm like, Dad, I'm telling you this, like, specifically to help you. Like,
right.
There is a free option. I can't control your screen.
And also to help yourself, because he's going to ask you the questions anyway.
Exactly.
So at least lets you be able to see the problem.
Exactly. That's 100% it. It's like, okay, you can still move around. I'm like, okay, and I can see what you're seeing, because like, it's really hard sometimes to just over audio. Like, big ups to tech support people, you know, like that work in, like, legitimate tech support. It fucking sucks. It's hard because I don't, you know, I was talking with Origin about some of her art, and I was, like, trying to compliment it, and I'm like, oh yeah, it looks like this, and I'm like, I don't know enough knowledge about art and, like, art world to compliment the things that I want to, because I don't know how to describe them other than, like, this looks cool. Like, this looks like it could be, like, from an animated show. Like, that's, like, well done. Yeah. And I'm sure there's better work. Like, if I was more knowledgeable in the field, I could actually give more specific feedback, but it's like, this is the best that I could come up with, and it doesn't even accurately fully how I would think something. You know what I mean? So that sort of thing where you're like, clearly I don't know what I'm talking about, but I got the right spirit.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, well, he goes, can you add me on Discord? I'm like, Dad, we're already friends on Discord. And he's like, oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah, let me call you back, and, like, hangs up. And I'm like, I'm still at Home Depot or at Lowe's.
Right.
And then I went to go see if the store that I'd been going to for the manga stuff had, like, a new issue or had, like, gotten stuff in that, like, I might have been trying to, like, fill out. Because Chainsaw Man Part 2 finally came out. Like, they had finished and caught up, and then new stuff started today, apparently. I haven't read it because I'm still working my way, but exciting. Needless to say, I am on my way home in the car. My dad calls me, and I go, hey, Dad, I'm driving. What's up? And he goes, so I don't remember my password, so I had to make a new Discord. What's your, how do I add you? Can you add me? And I'm like, yeah, like, there should be, like, 4 digits, like the hash code or whatever after your name. But, like, you know, I can let you know when I get home, because, like, I'm driving. Like, I can't pull it up right now. And he goes, well, mine's, you know, blah, blah, 1, 2, blah, you know, blah, blah, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm like, okay, Dad. He goes, can you add me? And I'm like, Dad, I'm in the car. I can't, I can do this when I get home. And he goes, I understand. Like, well, here, just give me yours then. Like, he's, like, yelling.
Right.
Like, and now I'm yelling because I'm just like, it feels like when you want to tell, like, when you were a kid and you were, like, really excited about something, and your mom's like, no, like, when we get home, like, we don't even have the ability to do what you want me to do. So can you just, like, relax for a minute? We can then have the exact same conversation with the result you'll want. Mm-hmm. If you just, it's like, hey, when I get home, can I watch this movie? Can we watch this movie? Can we do that? And it's like, we got to unload the groceries first. Like, brain's not at movie time yet.
Right.
Like, relax. It's like that, but with Discord. And I'm like, okay, Dad. And so then I'm like, all right, well, Dad, when I get home, I'm like, I'll be home in a few minutes and I'll send you a text. He goes, okay. And then he like hangs up, and then he calls me back like a minute later, and I'm literally pulling into my driveway, and he goes, hey, so did you end up sending that to me yet? And I'm like, Dad, I literally just pulled up to my, like, I'm not even in park yet. And he goes, oh, okay. Well, yeah, just send it to me whenever, no rush. And then hangs up. And I'm like, no rush? God forbid, I don't want to see you when you're in a rush, apparently. Jesus Christ. And like, my God, I'm just like sitting there going like, okay. Okay. So then, Jen,
manager Jen,
this father, dad, dad. No, he is. I've seen the birth video.
Did you see the conception video?
No, it was on a levee though, on the side of a levee. My dad sent me, or like I added him. We became friends. Discord was like wave, which like I've never added somebody as a friend before having a DM with them, so it was very interesting that it's like wave. Uh-huh. So I said sup nerd ass, and he hit me with a wave, which is the little blue one. Mm-hmm. So I sent him a picture of my face as an egg. He then sent me the next day one poop emoji, and then followed up with 5 poop emojis, as if he was learning how, like he's having fun on his computer.
Things are building. Mm-hmm. This is a Fibonacci sequence of poops.
Yeah. Like, he has at no point even asked me, like, how do you have those pictures of you? I don't even know if he saw the egg and knew it was me.
Right.
But, like, this one, he must have known it was me.
Right.
Maybe. I have no idea. But I'm like, what did he mean by poops? And I'm like, nothing. He just, it's almost like he's like, he's like a middle schooler who just got like a new phone, and it's like, I got to test out all the emojis. Poop, 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 poop.
Yeah.
Which, like, no hate on the guy, right? He made me, so he's done some good things.
He's already done his things.
Yeah. He's tapped. He made me, and, that's what's up. Nothing like applauding for busting a nut, Big ups.
Big ups for sperm.
Big ups for dads everywhere. It's a lot of work. Shooting fat load into...
Yeah?
Yeah. Anyway, do we want to get into quinchins? Sure. Or we could do packages and then quinchins? There's only a couple of packages.
Let's just do packages.
Okay. Wait. Quick Quit Wit has the new song. Package Time is the same one.
Yeah. Although we did toss around the idea for a new Package Time one, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, nothing that stuck.
I don't remember what it was.
Yeah. But anyway, let's go into
Package Time with the boys.
Ew. Package Time with the Boys is not affiliated with anybody else or any other trademarks or LLCs. It is property of Hewll Plucky.
Package Time with the Boys is brought to you by that Mountain Dew UPC you scanned in 2012.
Mm-hmm. From your local mom and pop squat shop.
Also known as 7-Eleven.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, there are 2 packages for you, 2 for me, because I believe, also oddly enough, which to be clear, nobody has to send us anything. We're not asking or whatever. It's just if people want to and all that. We haven't done package time in a while, but I figure it's with Noe. But I believe for both of us, it's supposed to be like birthday presents. Cool. Because it's all in July. Mm-hmm. Is your birthday's July 21st, right?
Correct.
Okay. Because in my head, for whatever reason, is someone's birthday July 22nd?
No one that I know.
No, because I always am like, I'm pretty sure the 21st, but it might be the 22nd, and I don't know why. Like, my brain does that.
No, 21st, and then the J boys are the 17th, and yours the 30th.
That's what about Big J?
Big J.
Big ups for Big J. Isn't Josh's
the same birthday as me?
Oh, you guys do have the same birthday.
Yeah.
Because Jordan and Jason have the same birthday.
Well, yeah.
Well, the way that Jordan tells it implies that there's a possibility that, like, Jordan popped out before midnight, that's a vibe.
That could be cool.
Could you imagine being legally a day older than your brother, even though it was only minutes apart? You get extra life
somewhere.
Yeah, and I'm taking your lives. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So, I don't know if she put a card in, but I believe that is from Denny, and then the other 3 are from an anonymous person, from what I understand.
Let's see what we got.
Mm-hmm. Oh no!
We're starting strong.
Oh,
with Thomas the Tank Engine.
You love the Thomas.
I do love Thomas. Does he have multiple faces? Do you get to swap them?
Oh yeah, it's a pack and play.
Nendoroid series.
Oh, maybe.
Oh yeah, because there's those hauntingly terrifying masks.
The Forbidden Bionicle. With the power of the mask.
I see a card, but it was below this. So.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. I understand.
You understand.
I won't. I might.
You could try.
I can't look at it. Yeah.
Oh, and Denny's gift card. Thank you so much.
Oh. Denny's for breakfast is breakfast and
Denny's. Okay, let me get to the card.
Mm-hmm. I don't think she said anything. I don't know. You can read your choice. You can read it and then choose to read it out loud.
Yeah, this seems like something I can.
Okay.
Okay. So first of all, we got make today a keeper.
You have to show the card. That's important.
Right.
You can read everything. Cover the text.
Make today a keeper. Gone fishing, which is funny because there's a whole song in Thomas the Tank Engine called "Gone Fishing" that I really don't like, but sticks in your head.
Yeah. Side note, if we were to do a live stream again where we did play Scythe on stream, I would recommend that we, like, if it's possible, if we could use a folding table, something with a little bit more space, because we were, like, really running out of edge.
Right. Are you planning on doing another Scythe stream anytime soon?
No, I'm not opposed to it. I really liked playing Scythe. I for whatever reason, my brain went, right now is the time to remember this and think. I mean, first of all, I'm always thinking about Scythe.
Right.
So,
Eric,
I want your birthday to be about me.
Well, it's not my
birthday.
That's
what this is.
So that's okay.
But it's a birthday present.
Okay. Next week will be my birthday episode. Because that's closer to my birthday. And then the week after will be your birthday episode.
That's true. We should do something fun for our birthday episodes.
I don't know about all that. Like delete the channel?
Yes. You can wear the birthday girl headband.
Eric, happy birthday and congrats on your 2-year channelversary. You are probably aware, but I'm a huge weeb. And I found a weird area our interests intersect. I saw this Thomas and I thought he's terrifying. He belongs with Choo Choo Charles, so please enjoy. Also, I know you like Halo and Lego, and this set is almost both of those.
You got Hagos.
Hey ho gecko. Anyway.
Hago my Hago.
Anyway, I hope your July is going well and not too stressful. Denny.
Aww.
Well, thank you, Denny. This is Thomas, and it is terrifying. I
kind of love it. It's a big mood.
You can. The glare is gonna make it so you can't see it. But you see the terrifying
face plates
faces you could put in there, which are only scary because they're not on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're scary. I love.
I don't like this one. I don't like that.
That's a troublesome truck.
I wouldn't want to cross paths with him.
You don't want to.
I wouldn't want to fight me neither.
They'll tear you to shreds.
Oh my God.
Well, actually, they usually are the ones torn to shreds.
Yeah, but he also can't move on his own.
Yeah, but he can apply his brakes selectively.
Does that happen in the show?
Oh, yeah. That's a big plot point.
Oh.
It becomes a problem. Both when they turn them on.
Multiple episodes or just one?
Many episodes. Because there's so many problems that you can do. He can turn the brakes on when he shouldn't. He can not turn them on when he should.
But why?
To harm.
Like he doesn't give a shit?
He's a troublesome truck.
I guess that's fair.
And he wants to cause problems and hurt people.
Then why? He should be bricked off.
They're a necessary evil. They're often torn to shreds or smashed into pieces, so
yeah,
they get their comeuppance.
But then every middle truck is a troublesome truck.
Well, they're pretty much all troublesome trucks. Freight cars are very difficult to work with.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like the passenger cars because classism does exist in Thomas the Tank Engine.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it's built on it. Halo.
Oh, that's really cute.
Halo.
That's actually really cute.
Mega Block Escape. Oh, it's like a. Oh, it's a set that's like in it.
Oh, that's actually really cute.
Work. Yeah,
You could build it while we do questions.
Perhaps I will.
It's very
70
small.
pieces. That's cool that it comes
I
with
could
like the
swallow
helmet.
all of
That's
those
sick.
real quick.
Hell yeah.
I think I'm allowed to,
Well,
right?
thank you, Dad.
I think I'm over the age limit.
I don't think you're supposed to eat them.
Well,
Okay.
obviously not. But it doesn't mean I can't.
Obviously the front.
Why would you even ask?
Thank you very much, Danny. That was very sweet of you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Alrighty, this is from an anonymous person. Thank you. It's not a box, it's just an envelope, so it's like, oh, okay. What is this? It is...
A cloth? A pillowcase?
That's Dio. I can recognize that.
Is that Kirby?
Oh.
Is this a pillowcase?
It's like a body pillow cover
A pillowcase?
of Jotaro.
Mr. Joe?
That's him, right up there.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. And then,
With his hat hair.
yeah, is it a hat? Is it a hair? Yes. And then, Dio.
Dio.
Which I feel like the other odd gift that is technically part of this, I now understand a little bit more.
Okay.
So we have 2 more packages, and I have a sinking feeling that I know what the other one is.
Is that the other one the body pillow?
So, you received this heavy box,
Oh, wow. That is quite heavy. Okay.
and I received, sorry,
Oh, that's it. Oh, yeah.
a round,
Oh, I know what that
soft,
is.
cylindrical.
I know what that is.
I'm genuinely curious as to what it could be. Granted, there's a part of me, or I found out that like I've been wanting a body pillow, but not like anime body pillow, like solely like a long,
Right,
like
you just
for
read it
sleeping.
for the articles.
Well, I almost bought, yeah. Golfer's Digest.
yeah.
I almost bought a maternity pillow
Okay.
because apparently like they fucking slap to sleep with and whatnot. Because like I don't know, my pillows just aren't hitting right. And so I'm like, oh, I can do it. And then like when we were watching Hunter x Hunter, there's Neferpito, the chimera ant, who's like an androgynous like cat thing. Although
Every show's got one.
well, he's kind of base because he uses he they or like he him pronouns.
Uh-huh.
And I believe is considered male, but like, and in the manga, he's much more androgynous. In the anime, they gave him boobs,
Okay.
and it's sick, and I love it. And you can get a Neferpito body pillow case, where it's like very fun, and then the other side is like, oh yeah, full nudity, and I'm like, is it been confirmed that that the chimera ants do have
Genitals?
genital?
Genitala?
Genital. Valus genital.
We've set foot in
Yeah.
a war with the cabal on Mars.
I just realized that I've been holding this assumed to be body pillow in like as if I were holding it like in pictures of people that hold their body pillows. I hate that I've done this. We'll see what this is. Do you want me to go first or do you
Yeah.
want to go first?
Open
Okay. I
I
wonder what this is. I also got a box from the same person
Can I get a box?
in May, and they were like, for whatever reason, this came way sooner than the other things will. So I need you to hold on to it until it's your birthday. And I got a message saying you can open up that box now. And I'm like, I'm gonna go home and open it.
Oh, like 'cause it's tied in with this.
Yeah, apparently, or
Perhaps
it's all
an
part of
ultimate
it.
pillowcase.
Maybe. No, it's like a big box. Like it's like a
Big
box
box
that's
of
like,
Ghost Rider.
like this tall.
Oh, okay.
Oh, body body
It
pillow.
says there on. It says right on the can.
Hey, and you know what? Mistakes happen. You just change the pillowcase, and the pillow forgets. I mean, although I do love that it is Jotaro and Dio. Like, that kind of is, like, hysterical. I'm like, do I want to feel like a bad boy or a worse boy?
Right.
Call me Poochie, baby, because I'm sleeping with Dio tonight.
Poochie is also the name of the dog in Yoshi's Island.
Really? In Chainsaw Man, the dog, who's only in Chapter 1, because he's then goes into Denji's heart, and that's how he becomes Chainsaw Man. His name is Pochita, and he's very cute. And they've come out, they released pre-orders where you can get a life-size Pochita. where he looks like Orb
Mm-hmm.
with a chainsaw coming out.
That TikTok of that cat that I sent you. That cat that I want.
Yes, where I was like, you have enough money, buy him.
The sweetest, most beautiful little alien boy.
Mm-hmm.
And like
Mr. Tony Stark energy, honestly.
very that, but also like energetic because like Tony Stark, I loved him dearly.
But he was old, right?
He was an old little gentleman. Mm-hmm. And I would have given him a very good life, but he was an older gentleman.
Are you considering getting a pet?
No.
No. But you want that cat.
I want that cat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want a pet, but
I'm not in the market,
cat.
but if something unfortunate happened.
If that cat was in front of me, I would take the cat.
If that cat had an Instagram page, you'd pay for it.
No.
You'd try to steal it, though.
Well, I don't have to.
I just wanted to relate with my Puggle story.
I just want the one video of that
Mm-hmm.
cat.
I
It's the
understand.
cutest little cat I've ever seen.
I understand.
Ew.
It was a very cute cat. It was very cute.
Oh, God.
Should we like leave a note and like put a link to that TikTok in the description or into like a pinned comment, because we do this shit all the time where we forget, like we'll reference something and then we just are like,
That's none of their business.
oh,
It's my cat.
You don't want competition for
No,
this
it's
cat
my
if
cat.
the cat ever happens to go up for sale.
He's my cat. So I don't. They don't need to know about him.
Yeah. Oh, my apologies. Sorry, I didn't mean to dox your future cat.
He's my cat.
You don't need anyone giving the owner a warning.
Exactly.
Operation Cat Coon.
Oh my God.
Wait.
I don't think you can say.
Can I? Ooh.
I don't think.
I didn't mean for
I
it
know,
to be
but-
like that. I was thinking more of like, it sounds like Cancun. How fun. Oh God, I went full white woman. Oh no. Grassy ass.
Oh God. Oh shit.
Uh-oh.
I see Star Trek. I get excited.
Oh, I thought you said I see London. I was like, I see France.
I see you. I see the Star Trek.
Star Trek's underpants.
This looks like one of like the old vintage ones.
Oh.
The Star Trek Starfleet Technical Manual. Oh my God.
Ooh. When was it printed?
This is like the. Oh
Oh.
my God. This is like the original like old one. I think.
Oh shit. We didn't bring the knife up here, did we?
No.
Yeah.
This is so cool. Oh my God. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. I don't know. You can tell by like I'm looking. Oh, who is it from?
Yeah.
It's anonymous.
Oh, okay.
They didn't put a name.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Yeah, this is like. Oh my God.
Eh.
First edition. It's from 1975. This
Holy
is like
shit.
the old one. Oh my God, thank you. This is so cool.
It's almost 50 years old. That's a fucking trip.
Isn't it though?
You received a relic.
2000 was. Oh my God, even as the old color. This is so cool.
Ooh, you gonna show the class? No.
It's my cat. It's those.
wow.
It's Star Trek nerd shit. Like,
Yeah.
I love it. This is so cool.
I'm
Thank
like,
you.
those are colors. Yeah, I don't understand. And you're like, you don't
No,
understand.
it's like the uniform color code because this is like because they did this like it's a technical manual, and so they did it in the style of like classic tech manuals of like what you would actually have for like
at work.
old cars
Yeah.
and stuff and things like that, where it would be like, here's all like different like like my dad has a million like old like tech manuals of old cars and everything, where it was like, here's the actual like color plates and stuff of like everything that the car would come in and shit. Like, it's so
I love coming in cars.
yeah.
Call me the backseat bandit.
I don't think anyone calls you that.
I think they will now.
That's so cool. Oh my God, thank you. I'm gonna have to root around in that.
From the rooter to the tutor.
You know it. That's very cool. Thank you. Where do I?
We never have enough room for anything on this podcast. I told you. See, I told you the table. But I do really like the rounded table.
Yeah.
Because then there's no edges.
Yeah.
Because between us, there's no we don't cut corners.
No edges this year.
No, wait, no, we do.
We do.
No corners.
We always cut the corners.
I mean, we don't edit.
No, which is us cutting corners because we.
I just realized that me doing that was like I was pushing it into you.
Yeah.
I mean, we literally opened up with a soliloquy about how like
Pushing it in.
yeah, getting it out.
What is this? What is this? the fuck is this? Whatever it is, it's a big. What is this? What is it? What? I'm that Cardi B thing where she's like, "What is that?" Oh my god.
Oh.
It's the. Oh my god. This is a whole fucking.
Oh, there it is.
Thank you so much. It's the Halo Encyclopedia, the deluxe edition of it.
Oh wow. Oh, sick.
That's so cool. Thank you. There was a period there where I got very into like art books. What?
Not me been going back and forth for 2 weeks. And I did see that and be like, that could be good to get Rick for his birthday. Back to the drawing board.
Well, better than it came now before you
might
have bought it.
Well, I'm like, oh, I'll get him an art book. I'm like, I get him an art book every year because like,
have you ever gotten me an art book? Oh,
I've gotten you a couple. Yeah, I've gotten you a couple. Well, those were like the specific, but I think I got you the Prey art book for Christmas. I don't know if I've always gotten them for your birthday, but like,
yeah,
it's that stuff. I'm like,
me one of them because
you got to find a gift that's like, because you wouldn't buy yourself this, but you'd like it.
Yeah, because there was a period where I got real into like video game art books. So I have I have Dead Space, I have Prey, I have Halo Infinite, I have
BioShock Infinite, right? Or no?
No,
I could have swore you did, but maybe not.
You got me the art book for Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yes,
that was what
what
it
was.
That's so cool. Thank you. I'm gonna have to tear this fucker open and take a look at something.
Oh hell yeah! You're gonna be so smart with all that knowledge.
Knowledge. I love that clip so much.
Ty Verdes or whatever. Is it Ty Verdes or Ty Lopez?
Yeah, I don't know. Lopez. I just like him knowledge. I like people making fun of him saying knowledge.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Thank you very much, Anonymous. That was very sweet and thoughtful, and I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
I'm gonna root through that shit later.
I can't wait to have a little Chardonnay. A little date for me.
Oh, there's a man on my table. And he's looking
Wouldn't
at me.
Wouldn't be the first, won't be the last.
Oh, you're right.
I'm
so this one is chewing gum and drinking wine at the same time? Dio. He could do better.
I mean, he could stop time.
Yeah.
You can stop time for up to 11 seconds, actually. Oh, no,
That's all we
seconds.
need. I only need 7.
Yeah. But also, so can Jotaro Daddy.
Oh. Can they stop each other's time?
Mm-hmm. No. But spoilers for the end of Stardust Crusaders. Mm-hmm. The 4 or 5 episodes that make up, like, the final Dio arc in their season is really good. And is where we discover that like all stands tend to have all stands have an ability. Mm-hmm. And it's at this point that you realize that like Star Platinum, Jotaro's stand, has never really used an ability. He's just the strongest, fastest stand. Mm-hmm. And in my opinion, what comes off like a total bullshit line is the world. He's like, oh, it's a similar stand to Star Platinum. Which implies that like Jotaro, and like Jotaro explains, like he found out that like his stand can also stop time, because the whole thing is that like it's called Dio's world. His stand is the world Zawarudo, is like the thing it says when it stops time, because when time is stopped and he can do whatever he wants in that amount of time, like he's the only one that can, except Jotaro. But Jotaro would have to activate his and can only do it for so long. So like Dio, for example, waits till Jotaro stops time. Or like he like stops time, Jotaro does as well, gets 2 seconds because that's all he can do. He hasn't practiced as much. And then Dio's like, I'm going to sit here and like grandstand for 7 seconds and then like throw knives at you and shit so that they hit you when you die. But some really cool shit, like the whole thing with the thing with the pole. And at one point, Dio tries to drop a steamroller on him. And it's very cool. And then he almost kills Dio, and then Dio goes, I finally found it. Your grandfather, Joseph, the main character from part 2, and goes, just sticks his fingers straight in the throat with little, like making little holes, like just like grabbing like a bowling ball, sucks it out, and now becomes even more powerful than he was before, because the whole thing that he wanted ultimately was Joestar blood, because he's on the original JoJo's body. Like, technically, Dio's just a head that he sewed onto his brother's body. Mm-hmm. And then by getting Joestar blood, like, externally into it, like, allowed his, like, scar to heal and whatnot. And he, like, the body is truly his. It's really weird. It's a little bizarre, if you will. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
It's quite the adventure.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Oh. I actually... So, I have my tattoo appointment, right? We'll get into question time in just a second. But I figured out... I've been trying to go back and forth on, like, what I wanted to put here for my sleeve on my bicep. So, I have, like, my big Rayquaza. That's going to be... I'm actually not going to make him shiny because the background's going to be black. So, it's like it would pop more. Mm-hmm. I have her here, Zinnia, and then it's going to be like a mountaintop. And I'm going to put, like, Tyranitar here because it looks cool. And maybe like a little Scraggy, maybe. It's like a little fun one. And then I was like, the problem is like, if this is all going to be like storm clouds and stuff, like, I don't know what this would be. I thought about it. And recently there was an event in Pokemon Masters, which is like a mobile game, like battling thing, as well as like just seeing lots of art of it now that I'm on Twitter at Odiepus R. If you're interested, it's just mostly me being like, simping for anime women, but you know, every once in a while there's something cool on there. And I was like, I don't know what to put here. I'm like debating, and I'm like, any Pokemon that fly, I'm like, with the way that I have, like, I'm picturing like the background and whatnot, it's almost like anything that goes on the bicep, since it is a lot of skin to just waste a background, it wouldn't be able to be big enough or prominent enough or make sense in the scene. But like one of his like specialties that he really likes doing is like a lot of like traditional Japanese style tattooing and art and whatnot, and like especially like the masks, like a demon mask and stuff. And so I've been seeing a lot of art of stuff, and I'm like, a Pokemon that I do love is Zoroark, who is like a fox-ish bipedal one. Yeah, you've seen him. And so like and in Pokemon Battle Masters for like the new event,
and so far only goes normal type.
Yeah, the new one, the Hisuian one, which the Hisuian one looks gorgeous. But like, I'm like, oh, I could get a Kabuki mask, like I could do like a fox mask. Then it would like still thematically fit, and it could be something where like it's kind of like at an angle or whatever. And I'm like, it would still look really cool while also being like part of like the bicep. You don't necessarily like, you know, T-shirt would cover it most of the time. So like, I'm still utilizing the space. There's still a cool art, but like, it has taken me. I thought about that as I got in the shower today at like 11:30. 11:30. And on Tuesday, the 12th, my appointment is on Friday, the 15th. My last appointment with him was back in April. So, and I've had all that time. And actually at that appointment, I should have come up with what I wanted. And I kind of was like, maybe Tyranitar. I still had months, but it's like, I'm glad I finally came to a realization. So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hey, podcast.
Hell yeah, podcast.
Oh.
Let's get some shoes.
All right, so let me do this. The internet keeps going in and out because that makes me mad.
Wait, here?
No, at my house.
Oh, okay. I was like, mine should be fine.
Well, like, I got real nervous when I was like, I'm going to be streaming. It better not, like, fuck up.
Yeah.
So I'm a little hesitant, but... Oh, and I'm glad you're Streamiversary. Congratulations. And I was there when you opened up your play button, so very big ups.
Yeah. 100,000 people. It's pretty fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking nuts.
So let me do this. So I'm like responding to Sin because they actually have like, not that they don't normally have a good question, but like since we are recording, it's like, oh wait, no, like I feel like giving you feedback immediately would be better than like waiting. So
stringing them along.
Yeah, just a little bit. But all right, it's time for quick. No way. Oh God.
That's why
I
love
quit wit crunch. I don't know if we have anything for that.
For a while we had the ow, which was
It's too,
which
it's
is
too
the
similar.
same as the other one.
Yeah. Oh, there's all these like ads in Spanish that are in our comments, like on our most recent video. I was checking Hewll for a review.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to scroll all the way down to the episode before the last one
Okay.
to make sure that we hit all the questions.
Okay.
I almost Nestle crunched it. Also, there's been a couple people that have been going back through and watching a lot of the older ones, which is awesome. Except right now in this very specific instance where I'm like, wait, did I scroll too far? And it's like, no, because it's comments in the order they were made, not like per video, which is totally fine. I would never. I'm mad that people are interacting with our content. How dare they?
I mean, if you click the specific video, you can look at just the comments from that one.
Really?
Yeah.
I think okay. Wait, did we answer the like a crossover game? I think we did. That was from like a month ago. If you could combine or cross over any 2 or 3 games together, what would they be? Video game, board game, anything?
Did we?
I think so. Because this is episode 44, right? I'm pretty sure. I mean, I could just look. Look at the dashboard. Yes. No. This one's episode 45. Okay, so I went too far back. Because I know we had some questions. You know what? I'll just start from the most recent ones and then go back. That's easier. Alrighty. This was a mistake.
This seems like it's not meant to go on this.
Maybe. 26 minutes ago, Steph OS7 asked, what's the most inconvenient poop you've ever taken?
When I shit myself 3 times Christmas morning.
Yeah.
It was very inconvenient.
Me, it was the water park implosion.
Yeah.
Which I believe I've talked about on here before, yeah.
Yeah. Those are old poop stories.
Yeah, unfortunately.
An ancient poop story.
Because it's like, why would I not tell the banger? There's no need for me to keep it in.
I can't see.
I gotta let it out. Chloe, replay Clamma 2.
Replay Clamma.
Words.
A real man.
Replay Clamma 2. Replay Camera 2, Chloe. Question time. What is your favorite amusement park and your favorite ride? Also, Odie, don't forget to talk about your haircut experience. That's right. I can mention my haircut experience. I got them all done.
Six Flags Magic Mountain, hands down, not even a question. It's my favorite. My favorite ride, though, that is tough, but probably... that is tough.
I have
Superman
a time that was my favorite ride on a roller coaster, but I don't think that coaster... Remember when we were on Twisted Colossus and it synced? That was the coolest one that like... But I wouldn't argue that Twisted Colossus is my favorite coaster.
That's where I'm at, too, because like I had an amazing time on Twisted Colossus, and like I love Twisted Colossus, but I don't know if it's my favorite.
I really like Ninja.
Really?
Yeah, the one where you're in like the little thing and it goes through the glade. Like, because when I went as a kid, they had Ninja at Busch Gardens, I believe, and like I rode it like 3 times. I really loved it. I wasn't like
it's fun.
Yeah,
it's just not.
It's not like a high octane
I didn't expect
coaster.
you to say that one.
Because like I do like Disneyland, but Disneyland is more of an experience.
I like Disneyland as like a whole thing, as like a nostalgia thing, because it like reminds me of like, you know, when I would go with my family. The rides themselves are not
anything to ride home. Yeah, like Space Mountain's really cool.
They're not thrill rides, which is okay, but like now in my life I prefer thrill rides.
Yeah.
Rather than like more of like whole experiential rides, except I guess like Haunted Mansion.
Although I would be like,
I love
it'd be kind of fun to go. Like now as like an adult.
It's so expensive.
Well, yeah,
now it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like I'm the same way. Like it's been a long time since I went, so it's like there's a little tiny bit of that itch of like, it'd be nice to go back and see it again.
I would
like
want to go
eyes.
like with you, or like, you know, like it's one of those things where like wouldn't want to like, not necessarily a big group though. Like I'd want it to be like we're a unit, like let's go, boom, or like a partner or whatever if that were a thing. Like
yeah, I mean like there's part of me that like would kind of like to go like with my family again, but then like there also would be that really weird aspect of it of like going again with family now, but we're all, you know, so much older that it's like it would maybe like cast it in a weird light of like, oh, this is so like different, and maybe it might go dark. Like my brain might go to like a dark place of like mortality, of like, oh, time has passed. Yeah, and like we're all getting older.
Well, remember the quiz?
The quiz
from our experience
from the
drive.
Yeah. It might. I'm afraid it would go dark, so I'm like, maybe just cherish the memories for what they were.
Yeah. Although we do need to go back to Six Flags.
Oh, absolutely.
It just needs to cool down.
Yeah. No. That's different. Like I would go to Six Flags anytime.
Do you remember when we all braced our fears and went on that one big ride? The spinny ride, the one that goes like all the way up and shit. And
I wasn't scared. I was so excited.
Oh, I was fucking terrified.
Oh, I was so excited for that. That was so fun.
And we went at night. It was so good. I think it was Taylor that also like braced her fears for it. I remember I was like, I wasn't alone. I remember that, but it was like, fuck it, we'll do it. But like, I'm so scared.
I refused to go on that drop ride, the Lex Luthor Drop of Terror or whatever.
Oh.
I just don't like those rides. So like, I had no desire to go on it, so I didn't. And Brandon was trying to do the whole like, Brandon was like, were you scared? And I was like, yeah, I didn't want to do it.
Yeah, you can't chicken me like I'm scared, and it's like, oh hey, well don't like. What you should do is go, well, hey man, no worries, we'll all go together, and I'll sit next to you. You'll be fine. Well,
yeah, and then Taylor literally turned on him, and she was like, you can't do that with Rick. That doesn't work. Like you can't like try to like be like mean like.
You can't taunt you taunt Eric. You're just giving him an out.
She was like, you have to be like nice and be like, well, it's okay.
If you push and you're gonna be a dick, you're gonna go, okay, well then I'm not going on it.
And I still didn't, just because like I mean, like, am I scared? Yeah, fundamentally, but also like I just don't enjoy those rides.
Yeah, and which I found is also like, because I didn't go on it either.
It's not even so much fear. It's I really don't. I don't enjoy that physical sensation of like like straight down drops. Yeah. Like I love roller coasters, but like that's a different kind of drop. Because you get caught. Yeah, it's not like the floor fell out from underneath you. It's like you went into a drop.
Yeah,
and there's a big difference there. And so it's like I am scared in the sense of I'm scared knowing that I'm not going to enjoy it. So I'm like dreading what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's more of dread than fear. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do it.
It's my favorite club. Club Dread. Not like Club Med.
No.
I don't know what anything's... isn't there like...
Is that like Club Penguin?
Yeah, hair club for men. Alrighty. Oh, my haircut story real quick. So I had... like cut my hair, dyed my hair. It looks, I don't know how it's pulling up on the camera. Does it look blue at all? It looks kind of like my normal color.
It looks a lot bluer on camera than it does in real life.
It looks more purple in real life, or no? It looks more like it could be the light.
It looks very muted in real life.
Which
was crazy because then when I watched the video back from last week, I was like, oh my god, it looks like bright blue. When like in person, like it doesn't look bad, but it looks much more muted.
It's very much so the lighting. Like when I was at my buddy Tom's house, I like went to his bathroom and he had just like normal like white light, and it's like I'm like, my hair's blue. Holy shit.
Yeah.
But so I had dyed my hair, and like I had used like a darker purple to try to clean up the sides a bit, and I just did it all over, and then I'm like, I made it too dark. I'm a little mad about it because it's like, but it does look really cool because when the light hits, it hits good. So it's kind of it's nice. But I was like, I had cut my hair on stream without looking, like just looking at like the stream preview. I'm like, I'll just do it because it was like a whole bit that I buzzed my head down, like breaking in Cuphead. And I had to tell my mods beforehand that like I'm going to be doing this.
Right.
So
this
like,
is not actually a mental break.
Yeah, this is a fake down. And so I ended up like Googling like a barbershop near me because I'm not going to Great Clips.
And stuff came up. One came up that was right nearby. So I went there, and there's a guy just sitting there like on his phone. And he goes, "Hey," and I'm like, "Hi," thinking he's just like waiting. And he goes, "I guess I'll take you." And he just takes me to the back, and his name is Dan. And he was great. He's like, "What do you want?" And I was like, "I'm gonna be real honest. I cut my hair myself normally, but I just kind of need it like cleaned up, trimmed, and any like adjustments that you think would be necessary." I'm like, I just don't know. So, and he's like, "Yeah, no problem." And he like took the time to like explain what he was doing. And he's like, "Yeah, like when you're cutting hair, like," because I was like, "Yeah," like he's like, "I can tell that you kind of just like buzzed it all around pretty much the same like length." And I was like, "How can you tell?" He goes, "Because when it starts to grow, it comes out differently." And he's like, "It's funny with the back of your hair, like you want your hair to like go in a specific direction, but your hair almost has like a natural bend, and then it goes whatever direction." Because I was like, I have this like the poof in the back. It poofs up a bit more. And I'm like, why? And like, so it turns out it's just the way my hair grows. It's not actually something that like
I'm doing wrong.
Yeah.
Granted, by layering my hair correctly and cutting it so that it's actually
work around it.
Yeah, not that I use the same size clippers to make it all the same height, but rather by like making sure that I cut the same amount of length off of everything so that all hairs are the longest, so it like sits correctly. Very big, very cool. So I got to do that today when I get home, is like write a review, because I told him right there, I'm like, I'm going to go and write a review. And I've been remembering it. I haven't gone around to it yet. But the fact that it's been a few days and every day I remember it, I'm like, I'm not forgetting it anytime soon.
Yeah.
So I was very happy. I was like, yeah, like I might come back. I was like, I if I do ever need to come back in to get my hair cut, I will absolutely come back, because it was great. And it was just very, very informative. It was very nice.
Cool.
Safe right here asked,
Safe every place.
What are your favorite books?
The Abortion Trilogy by Garth Nix.
It's a good one. I actually did end up buying those Keys to the Kingdom series that I had talked about. And then Zuki ripped up some of the box of it, which like is kind of fine because it's just like a cheap box that holds them.
Right.
But I'm like, but it holds them.
Right. And now it's
like my Pendragon one is like a little weathered, but that's because I've had it for a decade.
Yeah.
So like, and like the books themselves are weathered because I've had them for a decade.
Yeah.
And they get red. So.
I did it. I built a sport.
Yeah. Which one is Master Keef?
Neither one of them.
Chief Keef?
Neither one. Mr. Chef was not in this set.
Mr. Chef. Is that Locke?
No.
Oh.
These are Spot and Ford.
Honestly, like that's cool, but like I like the fact that you could just leave it as the head.
Yeah. I know. I like it. I like the head.
Yeah. You like head?
Oh yeah.
So head. Safe also asked, what was I guess my answer for my favorite books. Like the Pendragon series is like my core favorite, as in like I did a whole video for my 1 year on my stream of like explain two different streams to explaining it all. It's up on my YouTube channel. It's very incoherent. It was not organized. I just did it from the heart. And then like last minute making a thing about it. But otherwise, Stormlight Archive. Like as an adult, Stormlight Archive has been my favorite by Brandon Sanderson. It is top tier in my opinion.
Hell yeah. I got
a podcast. Huh?
I gotta post my videos.
Oh, okay.
That's what that learns.
What was your most fun road trip? Was it the second question?
My most fun road trip. I haven't really had many. Oh, the one where we went to Vegas.
Yeah, I was about to say that's my favorite
for sure.
one.
I was like, I haven't really had any memorable ones.
Just
like
open the window.
Memories.
I gotta poop. It'll be fine.
that was the best one.
In a similar vein, the trip back from Six Flags is the worst road trip I've ever been on.
That was not the worst one for me, honestly. Like it was.
That's fair.
Like
one with family, I'm sure has been worse.
We've gotten so much good material out of that.
There was a lot of value, but it was not like, and it wasn't even the worst in the moment. It was like when we finally were done, it was like
in reflection.
I've never been so relieved.
Yeah, it was type 2 fun.
Have you ever? Yes. Ooh, that's a reference, dude. Type 2 fun. Alrighty. Boop, 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 boop.
I gotta post these. I have all my compilations I gotta post. Oh,
yeah.
Fuck.
Ooh, Baby Miracle asked, question time.
Yes.
Okay. You have just been given a clean slate from the first season of Halo and a good budget. What are you changing and or keeping?
It's not gonna. We're changing
everything.
Not everything. It's going to be canon. It's not going to be about Master Chief. Actually, if it's going to be about Master Chief, then like
it needs to be Halo 1.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest thing is like I just want it to be canon. It really doesn't need to be about Chief. It doesn't need to be a retelling of Halo 1, Halo 2, any of them.
It could be just like almost like before Halo 1, kind of. You know what I mean? Like so that way you still get Chief, you get him, because he's already the badass that we know without the chip, whatever, without the pill thing in his back when we see him in Halo 1.
Yeah, honestly, the biggest that is the biggest thing for me is just that like it be canon.
I don't want him to fuck the girl.
Well, she wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Like, that bullshit doesn't exist in canon.
It just felt so like high schoolers' first Wattpad kind of like shit, to be honest.
Yeah.
It looked cool.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like such a waste to make it non-canon. Like, it was such an opportunity to, and like I said, like, this does not need to be a retelling of any of the Halo games, any of the Halo books. It doesn't have to be about Master Chief or Cortana or any of that. But this was an opportunity to expand the world and universe of Halo, and instead they made it this weird non-canon like little romp that, you know, manages to not further the actual Halo story at all, and instead just not only add confusion to the fan base, but also to like what I have found after watching that show is that, like, even though I know it is non-canon, it has affected my feelings towards established characters in ways that really frustrate me. Because, like, even though I know it's non-canon and it's not connected, it's really hard for me to separate, like, Dr. Halsey in canon from, like, that portrayal of Dr. Halsey.
Because now in your head, that's who you think of.
Because that's what I've seen most recently, because that's how human brains work. It's all about
we never really
recency
saw
bias.
her. She was just, like...
She was, I mean, like she showed up in, like, Halo 5 and Halo 4. Not Halo 4, excuse me. Halo Reach.
In the games, when you'd seen her, like, she definitely looks older than the actress that they had play her.
Yeah, and it's not even a question of looks for me. It's more about like, characterization stuff. It's just it's just frustrating because it's like I can't, like, for as much as I like tell myself to, there are aspects of it that it's like it's gonna be forever difficult to like disentangle these established characters from this like new take on them, because it's the only way that because it's not even like something where it's in the same medium where it's like this is like a non-canon game of Halo or something, because then it's at least like in the same like realm, so it's easier to like keep that divide. Like when they do episodes of like, not to make it Star Trek, but like in Star Trek there are like mirror universe episodes where like it's like the evil dark versions of the characters.
Imperium.
My version is the Imperium. It's the same,
well,
like...
their version of your Imperium is...
Right, is their mirror universe.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's within the same thing. It's like, this is a show and this is a different episode of the show. This is something completely different. This is like, Halo has always been games and books. Yeah. I finally get to see Halo on the, like, you know...
the big screen.
On the big screen. I get to see it, like, in a television format, which, like, feels really different, and it's not... canon. So like
it's like they made a sci-fi show and then slapped the Halo name onto it.
Yeah,
like they got the script from another show and just like changed some things.
Right. Like if it was a game that was an alternate universe version of Halo, they would have had to like bill it as that. Like because like here's the established game chronology. So like in order to have like that game, like it would be very clear that it was like alternate.
We have to find the horn.
Right. But like with this, like they didn't even like declare it as non-canon until people asked. Like it doesn't have like any kind of branding all over it. It's like, this is our different take of Halo. It was like, you know, when like gun to their head, they were asked like, was this like Halo? Like, you know, the director was like, yeah, it's non-canon.
It's non-canon. Yeah.
And it's like, it just
sad.
It's weird. It had more of an impact on me than I thought it would. And so I don't like it. I would just want it to be canon, whatever it's a story about. Just let it like actually like build the universe instead of fuck it up.
Yeah.
Even if it's not good, at least it's something that like has to constrain to like the rules that exist in that world and like build it in some way. I don't know. Yeah, I just wanted something canon.
I kind of would have preferred if they like never had the girl like be like interact with Chief, because I don't necessarily like hate that character like for that, but like it was like as soon as you saw that, it's like, oh great, they're gonna make them fuck and he's gonna be like, oh no, I'm in love now. And it's like, no, Chief loves Cortana. He has a Windows phone. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what to tell you.
But like there was some cool stuff, because like the whole scene where like she like fakes being a survivor and then like six the worms or the that part was really fucking cool. And like her little nail thing was cool, except she only used it once.
Yeah I didn't hate her as a premise or anything. I mean, like fundamentally it was a little bit weird, again, just coming at it from a canon perspective, because like even though it was made clear by the end that like the prophets, spoiler alert, did not care about her and they truly were just using her. So like I'm glad they at least
they're
kept
fine
to
with
that.
like we'll work with Chief if you die. Like we don't give a shit. Like we just
Right.
need someone who can use it.
So I'm glad that like that aspect of it was at least kept, because like in the beginning it was like the prophets literally like wanted the destruction of all humans ever. Like that was so like they would not be, you know, they would not have taken one in. So I did at least appreciate that like at the end it was made clear that like they were going to like betray her trust regardless. So like I appreciated that aspect of it, and like that was so like that worked, and like I don't think she was like a terrible character or something, but like it just as soon as she was on screen it was very like, oh yeah, they're gonna contrive some weird romance thing.
Yeah.
That feels rushed, because how could it not?
Yeah, like it felt
It
rushed.
feels contrived, because how could it not?
We've talked about it before.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I just want a canon story.
I mean, or you know, make the sex scene a little hotter. That would have been cool.
They didn't show anything.
I wanted to see his dick.
Probably has scars on it.
It's not canon, so they could have made the suit jerk him off, and they didn't, and that's a fucking shame.
Well, he was barely ever wearing it, so who knows?
I will say I did come around to the actor, like because I never watched
the actor
I
from
never
the start,
watched the
actually.
first like 2 episodes,
Mm-hmm.
which part of me kind of wants to go back and watch them, only just so that like Josh said the one beginning scene was relatively good, and like
The first
that's
large
on
scale fight
YouTube.
was not bad.
because like I didn't get any fighting for many episodes.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't have felt as bad if you did get it, because it would make sense that there's no fighting right now. But like to me,
Yeah.
I'm like, but otherwise, like, I think I actually really like the actor now. Like to me, like you know what, that fits. I think he did a great job. I think he did a really good job.
Yeah, I think he did.
I don't
good.
think anyone necessarily
I
was a bad actor. I think that there's just a lot of tropes and a lot of bad writing and
Yeah.
decisions made like behind the scenes. Except that I wish he would have his helmet on more often. And if they want to like show him talking, it's like in, you know, from like a Jarvis with Iron Man, like in the helmet thing.
The thing that got me most about like him not wearing the helmet was like there were so many circumstances where as a soldier in a like risky situation, he should have been wearing it.
Yeah.
Like if this is a show that primarily focuses on like the off time where he's like just at the base and stuff, yeah, of course, don't have him wear the helmet. He's just he's a person.
He's not in armor.
Right. But they were like having him in combat with his helmet off, where I'm like, this doesn't make any sense.
Like they literally they're bred not to do that.
Right.
Like, yeah.
That was what got me more than anything. Was it's like,
But it's against the lore, so it's fine.
If you wanted to, like, yeah, we've talked about it.
Oh, okay. So we have a question. At some point, probably. I had to scroll. Beep Bop asked. Terribly sorry if it's been asked already, but I think we do it quick. Do you guys believe in ghosts? / do you have any scary ghost stories? If you don't believe in them, why not?
I think there's stuff that I can't explain that I have had encounters with that like could be ghosts. I don't know what exactly it is, but
I don't
shit's
not
happened.
believe in ghosts.
Yeah.
But I would also admit that typically I'd probably be skeptical.
Yeah.
But fear is also a thing where I'm like there's places with bad auras, bad energy.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah,
if there is stuff, there's probably a reason why we don't understand it.
Yeah.
And it could just be that like we just literally can't understand it. Like there could be ghosts. There could be a ghost dick right here.
Could be.
And I just can't see it.
Yeah.
I don't got the many cones in my eyes. Yeah. I'm blind to the dick, baby. Lovely Deviant Alyssa asked, video game soundtracks can play a big role in the overall experience and ambiance of a game. Yes. Side note, Video Game Donkey just put out a video like yesterday about video game music. Go watch it. It's good. He got the guy who does a bunch of voices stuff. It's good. Mm-hmm. Has there ever been a game in which you felt you would have enjoyed the playthrough experience more if the soundtrack had been better? Or are there any games that you feel just don't fit with their given soundtrack?
Dead Space 3.
What was the soundtrack? I guess that's it. That explains it. Because I couldn't tell you what it was.
It was bad. It was an action game soundtrack. It was just
on a series that wasn't up to that point.
Yeah, it was just it was, and it wasn't even necessarily as much the soundtrack. It was more of like the actual like the way it was used and like the actual mixing in game. It was way too loud. It was like overpoweringly loud. It was very like bombastic instruments and everything that like killed tension because everything was like at 100% all the time. So like there was never any like pause to breathe. There was never any like there weren't like
in a game where you're kind of going from like a breathable respite to respite because it's not like Doom, where Doom's soundtrack, like 2016 and Doom Eternal by extension, are fucking amazing because Mick Gordon did the first one at least, you know, hence why Prey's soundtrack is great too. Of like no, it is bombastic, it is
running
fast,
gun,
it's
like,
because like you are not meant to take your time. You are
Right.
supposed to go.
But Dead Space 3 is a game that like positions itself as like gameplay similar to the old ones, where it's more like methodical, like, you know, trying to like work your way through this, and yet like the music is so overpowering. It's just
too
really
much.
frustrating.
I'm trying to think otherwise if there was a game with like a particularly bad. Honestly, most games have a good one. That's just it. If it had a bad soundtrack, I just don't remember it.
And I imagine if you listen to the actual soundtrack like in isolation, like just the actual soundtrack, not the like how it's used in game, there probably are like quiet and like slow songs, like tense songs, but they weren't used in like good ways. So like from like in game, it wasn't.
You wouldn't have
was
known.
not good.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the only example I can think
That's
of.
the only thing I can't think of any, because I've been playing like Nier Replicant, and like even then I'm going to play Nier Automata, and like that music's like that game's music is fucking gorgeous. It's like this like I could like hearing it, I could sing along to it. I can't tell you the words though, but I know them when I hear it, because it's just that like I'm like, we're on the Northern Plains. Okay.
C5 Terra Nova.
The only two words.
That's all you need.
Bye to you. Rebecca asked,
Fuck your chicken strips.
what's a game you thought you'd like but actually hated?
Metroid Dread.
Yeah.
I was really excited and I really thought I would like it. And I tried to get myself in the mood. I was like, okay, this is like this is a spooky game, a little bit spook. I was like, I'm gonna give it its due. And I really did. Like, no joke. I was at the house, the old house, and I was like, I'm gonna wait till it's nighttime. I'm gonna turn off the lights. I put on like because like Metroid Dread is very like in the trailers and stuff for it, was like the new suit is like blue and like there's like purple and stuff and everything. So I did like blue and purple lighting and everything. That was
I need
like
to start investing in the Philips Hue lights.
Yeah,
like the color ones, but they're just so expensive.
They are very expensive. You gotta try to get them in bundles. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll fucking like break the bank with them. But yeah, I made like mood lighting, like off center, like lighting, everything. So it was like dark but like glowy and like spoopy. And I was like, I'm gonna have a good time. I'm gonna love this game. And that was not the situation that happened. That's not true, Ellen.
I understand.
You were invited. It didn't. It just didn't work.
Oh. I'm trying to think, because normally I play stuff like on stream, but like it's the classic like a game you buy because you're like, I can't wait to fucking play it, and then you're like, I hate this. It might be Dark Souls 1. Like I still have not beat it. I have, we talked about it last week. I'm trying to think if there's anything else off the top of my head. That's the only one I can think of. But I'm trying to think like on my Switch. Like I'm trying to think of games that I've started and like have just not been able to. For whatever reason, it didn't pull me enough more than another game's pull to like hit different.
I tried to play Kirby Star Allies back in the day by myself, and it's not a game that's meant to be played by yourself. So I was like, this game's shit. And then we played it on a whim, and I was like, this is really fun when you're playing with somebody.
Yeah, which like we'll be doing a stream on my channel like in a month-ish.
It'll be August.
Yeah, it'll be August.
It'll be August.
Because you gotta get the onesies material.
I gotta get the materials
and then make them.
Yeah, it's gonna. And I got some other shit I'm trying to get done by birthday time. So
yeah, no rush. But at the same time, I know that's stuff that we want to do. So it's like after the hubbubaloo of July, we can like go ahead and be like, hey, do you want to like? Do we want to do a meeting between friends, allies, and be like, okay, what cool stuff do we like? Let's just think of some ideas of stuff we'd want to do this year and plan it out so that we're not like month to month. Like, when do we want to do it next? Whenever. But
when do we want it?
That I would need to do that because like I won't think of it otherwise. Yeah, I can't think. Fire Emblem Birthright, or Fire. I think it's Fire Emblem Fates Birthright. It's the one with Corrin.
Mm-hmm.
But there's 2 versions. There's Conquest and Birthright. Conquest is the harder one because it's like you either go back to your original family or you stay with your new family. You find out that you actually belong to the other. And so one game is harder than the other, like legitimately, and the other one's more like story based. Mm-hmm. And I had, if you remember, I had played Fire Emblem Awakening and I put like 100 hours into that game. I fucking loved it. I played through it like 3 times back to back. And I maybe burnt myself out on Fire Emblem when I tried to play those other ones because like I bought them and I just have never. I'll like play through the first few levels and then nothing.
Yeah.
But I don't not like them. I want to eventually get around to it. And like, I kind of want to, I've been kind of thinking about like, I should charge up my 3DS and maybe have that. Cause then it's like when I just want to like watch some bullshit on the couch, like I have my little game that I'm working on.
Yeah.
Handheld consoles.
An older example of a game that I really.
I'd play my Switch if I had to work in Joy-Con.
An older example of a game that I was expecting to enjoy and then just fucking hated was ARMS.
Yeah.
The Switch. I was like, this will be a fun time. I hated that game. I haven't touched it.
But they look like they have so much fun.
I haven't touched it since. I hated it.
Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain. I had heard amazing things about it. I got it for really cheap on Amazon for Xbox. Mm-hmm. I started playing it. Actually, I don't even know if I ever actually started playing it. Same thing with like Metal Gear Solid 3. Yeah. I was told like that was like the good one to start with. I tried playing it. The biggest boss in that game is not Big Boss or Boss. It is
not even
the controls.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think about the Big Boss oilless fryer all the time. I'm sure you hear me say it when we're conversing. I'm like, I was like, Big Boss oil fryer.
I love that thing. Brands supposed to have it.
They do, as they should.
You who gave that to them?
You.
Robbie. I almost bought one for me, and then but then ended up not buying it. And then a few weeks later, it happened to be their wedding, and Robbie got that for them.
How great!
Yeah,
that's a beautiful story. Robbie, maybe it's like a yokai sort of, or like a ghost, where they inhabit objects, and like Robbie's still with them. He's still alive. He's married in California, I think.
But his spirit stayed with us.
I never even ate his dip because I didn't like anything in it.
I don't like dip, yeah.
Yeah, but
apparently it was great.
But
I love the energy of him bringing it.
Look, all I'm going to say is this. Once Robbie dipped with the dip,
we dipped.
Life's been kind of shittier.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that it's Robbie's fault.
There's not necessarily causation, but there's a correlation.
That I'm choosing to draw.
Between the time when Robbie
you and I each have crayons, and we should not be allowed near this graph.
That's what I'm saying.
Mariah asked, or Maria. I do it every fucking time, and I'm looking at him like, Maria, do you feel like your clothes are a part of your personality?
I feel like they can represent parts of my personality. I don't think they're a part of my personality.
Like, I'm not a fashion head.
No.
You do have good drip.
Thank you. That's a compliment, right?
I believe so. Okay. I mean, like, you have always, like, enjoyed what you've enjoyed. And I'm like, man, you always have, like, such cool clothes and shit and shoes. But it's like, Steve, there's literally nothing from stopping you. I'm like, yeah, but I haven't found anything. It's like, okay, then that's fine. You don't have to, honey.
Yeah.
Recently, I've learned to love myself.
Oh.
Yeah. And I'm being serious, actually.
Okay.
Like, feel good about myself, express myself. I actually enjoyed this shirt so much, and it actually turns out I got a lot of compliments on it that I made sure to wash it because I'm like, I'm going to wear it on the podcast because it's cool. But, like, the thought logic, you ever want to trick yourself into, like, having self-confidence and believing things, is the way that I had to do it, and this is by no means saying that anyone else has to, this is just what worked for me, was I'm like, like people are very nice and whatnot, and I'm like, I have my own personal whatever, like, I don't care what anyone else looks like, everyone love your bodies for you, and all that good stuff, and I'm like, I just want to be jacked, or I want to be really slim, so I can, like, cross-dress, like cosplay, like, I could do, like, gender-bent cosplay, or I could pretend to be a girl. Doesn't matter. It's fine. So I lived my fantasy already with my bralette on Saturday. It was great.
Yeah, I saw.
And I put the wig on, and then like
I saw.
I streamed for 13 hours, and 12 of that was me looking at myself.
I was.
Hey, I was representing Surfboard Nation, bro.
I was over with Josh, and I saw you were live, and I popped it open for a sec, and I saw that wig, and I closed the phone.
I assumed, yeah.
It was the wig.
Yeah.
It was the wig that made me close the phone.
It was too much.
I was like, not that wig. Not that hateful wig.
That's the only wig I own.
I was like, not that hateful
But
wig.
I remembered it a little late into like it was like an hour or two into stream. I was like, fuck, I have that wig somewhere. I gotta go find it. But it was actually I was like in my stream and whatnot. And people are like, oh my god, like you're great, like like you're cool. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean I'm cool? And so then I like stopped to think about it, right? Like, okay, you know what? Like it was Katie, Miss Katie B. You got to put respect on it. She's on vacation right now, so no one's allowed to do anything bad. Yeah, you have to like love yourself while she's gone, because like she'll be pissed if she.
Because how the hell are you gonna love somebody else? I get an amen.
Amen. Yes. Is because like she's a friend of mine. I love her dearly, and she's a very wonderful, sweet person. And like she deserves this vacation. I hope she's resting easy. And she's like, like she's like resubscribed. It's been 15 months, which like to me was like, holy shit, I've been doing this for over 15 months now. It doesn't feel like, even though my 1 year was 3 months ago or so. Right. Like in my brain, that was, I don't know, more than a week ago. So it's gone. And she was like, I think you're just like one of like the coolest, most caring people, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I value Katie's opinion. And if she genuinely thinks that of me to the point to make sure to say it multiple times, then like, I got to respect her and believe it. Yeah. Cause it's like, when I say things to people, I mean it. Like, right. And I want them to believe it.
And it's annoying when people don't.
And it's like, okay, but you, or but me in this case. And it's like, it sounds really silly and kind of minute, but it's like that sort of like logic is like what kind of clicked in my brain of like, okay, well, it's not conceited, like, to do whatever. Like, and the truth is that like if people are like, oh, like you're just so cool. Like I think you're really cool, but like you're also just like a nerd. And like depending on the person, they may not think you're like objectively what high school would be, cool in high school as, because we were not cool in high school. No. By any means.
Who was?
Well, there was the popular kids. Like
but for me in high school in particular, it's like it's such a thing of like,
I never viewed them as like the cool kids that like but like there definitely was a more popular crowd.
It's for me, it's like within each like group there was like the cool kids. So it's like, and so like there were the quote unquote popular kids, I guess, but there was like they were the cool ones of that group, but like all of us in like the other like groups, like because like all
there wasn't like the cool kid table,
right? Yeah, like all of us in like AP and honors classes and everything, like just because we were always in those classes and they tend to be smaller, like we sort of like became like an offshoot of sorts of things. So it was like, I don't know.
I got myself mad.
What?
I'm thinking about him.
Oh yeah. So I don't know. Like I only ever really interacted with those people that I had those classes with and everything.
And him. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, so I don't know, like
keeping his thought out of my goddamn mouth.
I weighed everything against like that group. There were like cool kids within that group, but I was like, I don't fucking know any of like the popular kids or whatever, because they were just they ran in different circles. So it was like I if I was asked objectively like, are they cool, I'd be like, they're popular.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, well, I think that like what's cool is like, especially if you only consume like like Hollywood shit, like that much more diversity and like what's coming in like stimuli and like other experiences and stuff with the advent of like the internet, and as silly as it sounds, like TikTok even, but like the YouTube generation of like, oh, you don't like, there isn't just like the one way sort of thing. Right. And so like for me, like, cause like I don't consider myself cool. Right. I would never assume that I'm cool. I know my place. Right. And
it's like, if I make a video, and to be clear, I also don't think I'm cool. If I make a video, even if I am intended, I don't. If I ever,
I'm just
all
like,
I ever talk cool. about is fucking Star Trek and Halo.
No, I mean, but like, you're the cool friend, though.
I do not agree. Anyway, I'll take you at your word. Wait, of us or of our friends?
in our friend group, well, in our core friend group, you're the cool one.
Okay.
Like, of the 4?
Okay.
Who would be?
I don't know. None of us.
You're not going to tell me Brandon.
No, I don't.
You shut your goddamn mouth if you think Brandon's the coolest one.
I don't think any of us are, but like, I don't know. I'd maybe say Brandon.
I feel like we give it to Brandon, but it's like, because I can't vote myself, because our group because our core friend group would absolutely vote ourselves.
Right. All 4 of us would vote ourselves.
Like, you're all dirt and trash.
Yeah.
And you're lucky that I talked to you guys.
Yeah. I can't remember what I was saying before
Yeah.
that. Oh, but like I'm blown away by people where it's like if in my heart of hearts, yes, I think I'm funny, which is not to say that like I think I'm funny all the time, but like I think I say funny shit and I know I do. Mm-hmm. So like I can
You're very funny.
So like I can be funny. I would never on a video, no matter how many jokes I put in it, no matter how much I could listen back to it and go, this is pod racing, I would never put the tag like funny on it. No, because that's how
never. It's not funny.
That's a move.
If you have to tell me it's funny, it's not.
It's
funny.
not fucking funny. I can't.
Like, who's this for?
Yeah, it's the same thing of like
someone who goes, I want to find a funny video.
Right. It's the same thing of like I would never say I'm cool, even if like because and it's like anything where like it goes in waves. Like some days you just feel really good about yourself, and some days you don't.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And so it's like even on days though where it's like if I was like I look really good today, like I'm feeling pretty fucking like
I'd feel
pretty cool today. Like I still would never vocalize that because like that's inviting disaster.
No, and it's like I'm not cool. Like I fully recognize that, but
right.
It's like so in that same vein. So like what I was thinking too with like even like the cool thing too is like okay, well, people think I'm cool. I'm like. But it's like, I have friends where I'm like, no, but like you do this thing and like, it's really fucking cool. Cause like, I can't, I find that cool. And they're like, I don't know why you think that's cool. And I'm like,
right.
Congrats. We are all the same now. Congratulations. This has now been solved. And it's like the difference between, cause it's like, well, I don't want to like think I'm cool. Cause then it's like, well, how do cool people act? It's like, if you ask yourself you're already too far. Like you missed it.
You're down that rabbit hole.
The way you are to that person is cool. And I think that you need to stop thinking of like, oh, I'm cool. That means like I'm a cool guy. Everyone will think I'm cool. Like, no. It is very much of like to people that like and care about you, think you're cool. That is kind of all that matters. Like, there's a lot of people where I'm like, oh yeah, like no, like they're cool. And it's like, well, wait, what does that mean? I'm like, well, that means like I can like have like a back and forth with them. I can like meme around. Like they're chill. I vibe with them. Like that would be cool. Like, yeah, they probably, I could. Different varying levels of it and whatnot. But so anyway, like I've been telling myself, I'm like, okay, well, actually, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Like I do look pretty good today. Thank you. Like I may not be where I want to be, but I'm like, but you know what? I could put a little more effort, like trying to be a little bit more conscious and like be like, this is a way to also express clothes are a way to circle it back. Clothes are a way to express yourself. Yes. And your interests and whatnot. Like I fucking love this shirt. Y'all can't even see it, but it's got like the fucking shit on the back, which like is a bit horny weebish, but it's nowhere near like bad. It's just like kind of like cute, as opposed to the full Ahiago tracksuit, which is too much. Yeah, but no, they're just faces. It's not. And anyway, if you start thinking like that, you'd be surprised at how much it helps, like, feel better about yourself. Because, like, yeah. And also, do your best to try not to, if you start noticing that you're comparing yourself to others or your friends, remember that everyone gets to where they are on very different, like, places. Living with my sister, her and I going through the same experiences have very different viewpoints of things. And it's very fascinating. Sometimes positive and negative in one way or the other, but like just even just neutral. It's just like I'm like, oh yeah, like I didn't really know something. Like, you don't remember that? And she's like, mm-mm. I'm like, weird. That was like pivotal for me, dude. Yeah. She's like, I was 3. I don't know. Yeah. I'm like, I'm with 7. If a genie could tell you a truth you'd like to know about yourself, what would you want to know?
About myself?
Where the mouse is.
I would love to know where the mouse went. A truth about myself. I mean, I have health questions.
Yeah.
That's like really real and dark. So I was trying to think of something that's like
it would be
personal and fun.
What would I, if a truth about myself, what would I want to know? What do I need to do to be the most fulfilled? Like, sometimes I wish like something could just scan my brain and then show me what I would. I'm like, I know what I want, but I don't want to think of all the attributes. Like, can you just scan my brain and know?
Right.
And you're good?
Yeah.
Like, of whatever it is that I'm thinking about. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
Can't. I'm like, how do I do it? Like, I want to know, how can I beat my ADHD, please? Please, I don't want to keep avoiding this task, but I also don't want to do it. But I need to do it, and I want to do it. But I don't want to do it more than I want to avoid it.
Right.
And that sucks. And that's not God. Or like how many push-ups I could do if I tried really hard, so that I know where my goal is.
You could just do that though.
Yeah. But it'd be good to know like what my end point is, so I'd know I'm at the top when I'm there. So I don't waste time thinking I could try to squeeze out an extra one, and like I didn't. Rinsler asked, if you could bring one fictional creature / alien to life, which would you choose? This is permanent and they will become part of your life. You can't just ignore them.
I want something benevolent but powerful.
Kirby?
I don't think he's benevolent.
Maybe.
He's very powerful, but I don't think he's benevolent.
I think it's creature or alien, so I don't think you could choose like a person. But if it's an alien,
if
you
it's
can.
an alien, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Would a demon count?
What's something that has power?
Could I make Makima alive? I'm like, ooh. But like not like waifu picker or husbando picker.
Uh-huh.
Honestly, one thing that I always wanted as a kid was Morph from Treasure Planet.
I've never seen that.
Oh, there's like the captain dude has a little like creature thing with him that ends up like leaving him and like hanging out with the kid.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's like a ditto, kind of. It can like morph into different things, and I always thought that was like the coolest thing, and I always wanted one.
A ditto would be cool.
Yeah. Oh, I guess yeah. Like you could bring a Pokemon. Oh, I'd make a Scraggy, because he'd be cool. He'd be a little roughster. Although, what Pokemon would be like useful in everyday life?
I think a ditto.
Yeah. Oh, Rodon.
Rodon would be good
because you have all the different forms.
That would be good. I think I would go with ditto.
Because like a Pokemon, well, a Ditto has a lot of possibilities.
Exactly. Smash or pass?
I ain't passing on that smash. My God. Otherwise, like, see, I could go now. Like thinking about like Pokemon, I'm like, who would be really cool? Because just because you make it real doesn't mean like it's part of your life doesn't mean you can control it.
Probably Guzzlord then.
Yeah.
That couldn't go badly.
I made a joke about Guzzlord yesterday on my stream.
It was guzzling.
Yeah, it was about cum. Yeah.
I watched a clip that was like different like funny lines from like the anime or whatever, and like in the same way that Victory Bell's like voice is literally just like a person screaming. But Victory Buzz is like a high pitched one. Guzzlord's is just a man screaming, just the whole time.
He's an Ultra Beast.
Yeah,
so it's weird from where he's from.
It's just a man screaming the whole time, and so it just keeps jumping these clips of like Beware like beating the shit out of him, and he's just like it's bizarre.
I wonder if I still have like Ultra Sun or Ultra Moon, because like I never got all of the
Ultra Beast.
Now I'm kind of like, maybe I should charge my 3DS and start playing some
games. They need to add Pheromosa to Pokemon Go
so
I can get it, because it's bug fighting. Come on.
It's pretty good.
It's great against the other and
when you
so
see her
psychics.
in like real life, like you could see through her, like her hair is like translucent, like you could see through it, or transparent. And also Buzzwole though.
I was just looking at it from a type perspective, but yeah, a ripped mosquito.
He's like sucking your blood, and he's like, "What are you gonna do about it?" Nothing. And he's like, "You gonna hit me?"
What type is he? Fighting, surely.
Bug fighting, I think, because like Celesteal, like a lot of the Ultra Beasts are version exclusive. So I don't know exactly. Okay, Kale asked, "Hi, Kale. Video game Quentin. What's worse, a game with a really good story but bad, boring gameplay, or a game that is really fun to play but the story is boring, bad?
What's worse?
Bad gameplay.
Bad gameplay. Because, like...
Metal Gear Solid. I know it's a really good fucking story. I cannot... If the controller is the hardest boss, then I don't want to play it.
Yeah, because if a game is good but the story is shit, like, not every game has to have a good story. That's fine. But, like, if it's a good story with bad gameplay, it just feels like such a waste. Like, Halo 4 is a really, like, emotional, like, impactful story. The gameplay's shit. It's just not good. And so
to
it's
the point
really
where, like,
annoying.
that's the one I think... like, I've never played Halo 5, but, like, the campaign. Even though I own it. We never played it because you wouldn't play it with me because you said it was bad.
It is bad.
And
I did it once.
I think we played Halo 4 once, like through the campaign, and you were like, because it's like, you just feel so weak.
Yeah,
like it feels like all the bullets are like weird hit scan bullets, almost like.
Yeah, Halo.
Even
4,
in Halo 3, it didn't necessarily feel. Well, Halo 3, it did feel like when you shoot the guns and you kill people, like because Bungie made it, so the gunplay does feel. It may not be the best, but it feels good.
Yeah, Halo 5, while I don't like it and I don't think that the gameplay feels like Halo, I think it feels good for what it is. I think it's just in a different lane. Halo 4 feels like it's having an identity crisis.
But that was their flagship, right? 343s. That was their first game.
That was their first one.
Yeah.
So, like, it feels like it was their first one. It feels like they're trying to find their own footing and everything. It's like, it just misses the mark on so many ways. And it's weird, though, that the story was so good. But then it also set a really bad precedent because, like, the story was really good, but it didn't sell very well. And that story, part of what made it good was that it was so reliant on, like, outside media.
Oh, okay.
And because the game didn't sell very well, they decided that the reason why was because the story had, like, too many, like, external things. That it, like, relied on too many, like... That it derived more meaning from having played previous Halos and reading some of the books. So they decided with Halo 5 to make it a standalone story that very much could, like, be on its own.
Which is why I could play it and I might find it to be more enjoyable than you would because it's not really, it's its own thing, which means, like, yeah, you can judge it on its own merits, but it's like, I also have 7 other games to compare it to.
Yeah. I don't think that there's anything wrong per se with a game like trying to like live on its own and exist on its own. I don't think every game has to be like a really like heavy story like built on the last one kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. But I think when you're in a series like that and you have like so few mainline titles, and you know like it's such an event for them to come out, and then you know you have to wait like 5 however many years for like the next one. I think like it benefits from that like lore payoff kind of thing, and I think Halo in particular is broad enough that like it has so many potential spin-offs that would be places to like make standalone stories that would do well.
Yeah, they could definitely do like they could even just make like smaller games, if that makes sense, like a tight small game, like it doesn't need to be a AAA title.
Well, and people have been clamoring for so long. They're like, you have like such a wealth of like a universe to like do these like very specific spin-offs in if you wanted to. Like they could make a survival horror game that was about the flood. That you're not a Spartan, you're a person, like you're human, like on New Mombasa when like the flood invade, and you can make like it's actually under the Halo banner, but it's like if you want to make its own self-contained story where you really get to like wild out and like make new game mechanics, do something like that as a spin-off.
I mean, ODST, you guys talk about it like it's fucking amazing, and you're not a Spartan in it. You're just green.
And that one, it does kind of like ride this line where it's like they didn't really commit to like you still feel pretty strong in ODST. Like they could have really pushed it farther, but they did push it a little bit, and it is cool. You feel a difference, and it feels like different. So it's like I understand.
It was
like
harder, because you're playing it like you play your Master Chief.
Yeah, you just have to play it differently. So like it just seems like with such a broad IP, like there are so many opportunities for self-contained stories. I don't think there's a problem with the mainline stories like relying on each other, and I think that would help the world, the universe. So I don't understand why they went that way with Halo 5. And then because that game was so like, you know, reviled by the lore community and everything, Halo Infinite became again very heavily reliant on like lore and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Well, and like, I just thinking about it, like, it would be kind of cool for a game, like, because like I just recently rewatched the BDG video of him doing all the Halo novels, which the video came out on my birthday, so that was cool. Ooh. But I was rewatching it, and I'm like, there's all these cool little like side stories and whatnot, where I'm like, that would be kind of like a cool, like an interesting game where like it is very much not like a big RP, like a big game, but it would almost be like, you're like looking through the archives, and you can make it to where like the main menu and like as you're going through, and you could figure out a way to tie stuff together, or it could just literally be like, it's more of like a showcase of like, it's essentially a short story collection, but it's just, some games. There isn't a big major plot. Like it doesn't need to be a one character start to finish massive story.
Yeah.
Like I think that they're kind of sleeping on like an anthology, exactly. Or like they could flesh each of those out into a bigger game. Like I know there's a few anthology series that do that kind of stuff, but like even if it was literally like 343, in the library, and like treating it like a library, like, oh yeah, here's some interesting things that have happened. And it's like, and like you could have him being this quippy commentary, and it's almost like, you could just, then it's like you're playing as that, and it could be, maybe it's not like a shooter, it's more like closer to like a Telltale game kind of. But I think they could do some really cool stuff and like expand the world, because like I don't need to be first person Master Chief to enjoy the stuff. Like there's so much cool stuff. Like honestly, the biggest thing that I'm mad about the fucking Halo show, just to go back to that, is that like we didn't see the Covenant enough.
Right. It wasn't a show about.
They were so cool. Like when they were on the ship, like the Sangheili. No, Sangheili are the elites.
Those are elites.
The worm boys, the prophets.
The hunters.
No, the prophets.
The prophets.
The prophet. They look kind of like a weird, like, which apparently they're the hottest ones, right? Okay, who are the prophets? What race are they?
The prophets they're the leaders. They're the three that like are in the chairs.
Mercy, trust, and whatever.
Mercy, regret, and truth.
Truth. Okay.
I'm just making sure you weren't confusing it with the
hunters,
which are the worms
not
that you
the worm
talked about
hunters.
earlier.
No, I just meant like they had like a long neck.
Yeah,
worm neck. That's why I'm like, no, the prophets.
Yeah,
the prophets I'm talking about. Like
the Sanshai.
The first time we saw them, when we got them, like they looked so
it looked really
sick.
fucking cool.
And I'm like, I would have loved to like see some shit, like more shit on there, or like they could have used her where like they have her there, but instead of her like going to the humans, and then the bullshit plot is like, you could still do the same rebel without a cause bullshit, but like she starts some shit and almost makes a small splinter faction, which would then heat up the more tensions with the brutes and whatnot.
The Great Schism.
The Great Schism. It's almost like you could have made her start it, because it's like this, like, wait, you guys are just using her. Because it's like the prophets know that they're using her.
Right.
But like everyone else, like they legitimately like talk to her. Like, yeah, they're sometimes annoyed with her, but like, no, you are like a holy figure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Looking for more questions. We're still. I know this is gonna be a little bit of a longer one, but I'm chilling. This is a good episode. Ooh, okay. Carolus asked, if you could ask your pets 3 questions and be guaranteed an answer, what questions would you ask, and what responses would you expect?
I don't want to ask anything.
I would ask him what he would like. I would ask Suzuki what he would like me to call him. And I would ask him if, like, what would you like to do? Like, if I was suddenly able to communicate with him, I would, like, give him more autonomy. Although he's fairly autonomous now. But, like I let him out onto the porch, rarely, very supervised. Because I don't want him, especially if there's other cats out. I'm like, I already freak out when I see a cat in the yard.
Yeah.
That looks like him. And I'm like, nope, the hair's longer. I know it, but, like, and I, like, open up the back door again, and I'm like, where is he? Where's Zuki? Where's Zuki? And he's like in my closet, and I like open the door. And I'm like, and he's just like, he's like, okay, stretching. He goes, I'm hanging out with you now. And I'm like, no, I'm busy. And he goes, why'd you wake me? I'm hanging out with you. And I'm like, ugh. Up my ass. Ooh, okay. Loop asked, Eric, As a fellow ASMR connoisseur, can you recommend any good ASMR channels / artists you enjoy?
Yeah.
I also do now, but like whatever. I didn't get asked.
It depends on kind of what you're looking for. If you like more of like the video style ones, where it includes like visuals, Jellybean Green ASMR she does some really good stuff. Made in France ASMR makes fucking like literally.
Oh, that was the one you showed me,
yes,
right? Where it's like production quality.
They look like movies.
They look better than movies.
They're incredible. If you're looking for like visual stuff, his stuff's incredible.
They look like a network documentary.
Yes. And then Moonlight Cottage ASMR, she does very similar things, like also very high production value, not quite as like dialed up as his, but also very good. If you like more of just like chilled out kind of like medical role play stuff, there's a guy called Completely Casual ASMR that does like a lot of stuff that's good. Kat Bailey ASMR does a lot of that kind of stuff too. If you like narrative stuff, more just like audio,
Redacted ASMR is pretty cool.
Redacted ASMR is great.
Odasmic ASMR is pretty good too.
Hollow VA, of course, cannot recommend him enough. Was one of my biggest inspirations. There's a channel actually that like I haven't talked about in a very long time, called Moody VA, where he actually like he hasn't really made stuff in a long time, but his stuff was not only like an inspiration for me to start, but he actually, when I was very first starting out, and you know I was trying to like get some traction and everything, he ended up seeing, he was like, I have been lucky enough that a handful of the people that like I watch and stuff have like seen my stuff and commented and said kind things and everything. Yeah, which is crazy. He was the first person that I ever watched who commented on my stuff.
First person like who commented that you recognized as like, this is a fellow creator. This is a bigger creator.
Yeah, and in my mind, and this was early, so like in my mind, I wasn't even in fellow creator status. I was like, I'm just this, I'm just throwing shit at the wall.
I'm just a guy making videos.
And this is an actual creator, and he has like taken the time to say like my stuff is good, and he was very kind about my stuff, and he makes amazing shit, and it's also like narrative stuff, and he hasn't made stuff in quite a while though, which is sad. So yeah,
years,
like 8 months or something, I think.
I hope he's okay.
I hope he's okay. I hope he's just like taking time for himself. But yeah, definitely go look at his stuff if you like narrative stuff. He makes really cool shit. Give him some love. Say that he makes good stuff, because he definitely does. Who else does like narrative ASMR? Salem does more like narrative stuff now. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of options.
Mm-hmm. I like a lot of like tapping and interesting noises, but I don't want to have to watch it because I don't have a way to like look at my phone in bed.
Yeah, trigger videos aren't for me, but.
Yeah, not always trigger ones. Yeah, so that kind of stuff. But the only person that I've been like watching more of, and she does some like pretty good stuff, like positive affirmations and shit too, which is like surprise. It's like soft talking while I'm trying to sleep is very nice.
Yeah,
Lily Vanilli ASMR is really good. I like her stuff. What song would you play while fighting SCOTUS in the parking lot of a White Castle? Apparently, this was on TikTok.
What's a good song to fight to? I mean, for irony's sake, Living in America would be kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
Living in America. Just like, that could be good. But that's not really a good like fight song.
Ooh, Jump Around by House of Pain.
That'd be good. Ballroom Blitz.
Classic. Yeah, it's a classic, yeah.
Classic. Breaking the Habit, Linkin Park.
Yeah, but that's like more like you're living. You're like, I'm doing this for the edit. Like,
yeah, that's if there's cameras rolling.
Yeah.
Angels and Bread also is more like narrative stuff. That's really good. Angels and Bread ASMR.
Delicious. Yeah. Okay. So I'm looking. Oh, Yggdrasil asked, "What, if anything, do you want people to remember about you?" Don't.
Allow me to fade into obscurity.
What if I just gone?
What I want to be remembered for.
A bit? Is there a rope?
That's very big. I don't know. This is kind of like dark and existential, but like I don't really care much about like legacy because like I'll be dead, so who cares? Like the world from my perspective ceases to exist the moment that I do.
At conception.
So like
I figure we're using it for everything now. So
like
death begins at conception.
Well, it
now
does.
It does now.
So like I don't know. I don't worry about like legacy much. I mean, like I would hope that people just like if they remember me, I hope that that they remember that like I tried to do right by the people that I cared about, because like that actually matters.
Yeah.
Not like I built a content creation empire. Like I don't care. Like I'm grateful for all of those things, but like that's not the stuff that matters. It's the human connections that you form. So
yeah. So like more or less same, with more of just like I don't know, man. Like I would love for people if I were to die, but then I could like haunt myself. If I had like I could like hang out as a ghost periodically just to see.
Right.
Like I would want people to remember me of just like man, like yeah, Steve was pretty good. Fucking asshole. And I'm like
yeah.
like little seeds of like, God damn it.
If you could, would you want to pull the Tom Sawyer and, pretend to die so you can hear what happens at your funeral?
So here's the thing, is that there's part of me that's like, I almost would want to have a living funeral. like if I were to come down with something terminal,
right?
Like I knew I was going to be dying soon, I'd be I would have a funeral, but it's a celebration of life, which not to like celebrate my life, but like I want to have one big experience with everybody.
Right.
And like a send off, because if this is going to be the last time you see me, then like I want it to be a good time.
Let's have good memories.
Yes. And let's do it before I'm too far gone. So that like, as like my final gift, as someone who's dealt with a lot of death in his life, and in different ways, is like, there's some of those, there's like that internal thing of like, should I go see them again? But it's like, at the same time, like if they're really, really far gone, then it's like, you don't want your like
that's
to
be how
the
you
last
remember it.
Yeah, and like me, I wouldn't want people to remember me like that.
Yeah,
because I don't want people to feel guilty. I don't want anyone to feel like they fucked up. I'm like, if anything, I'm like, I've never wanted to be a burden, and I would not want anyone to keep me as a burden in their consciousness.
It's that weird thing of it's
like I want you to laugh.
It's that weird thing of it's like it's a very real like universal thing of like, but no one ever like asks it this way of like,
do you want me to see you again?
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how can you ask that? But like, it's it's kind of a thing, because it's like, because in your head, like, the most recent family member that I had that passed away, there was this whole thing of it's like, I hadn't seen him in quite a while, not for any ill will, just, you just don't see people in your family all the time and everything. And, and at the time, he was still in a much better spot and everything. Everything was like not too bad. And then like it kind of just like the wheels fell off. And it was this weird thing of it's like, there's the expectation of like, okay, well, this is the end. So like, I need to go see him. But then there's that weird thing of it's like, does he even want people to see him like this? Like, and, but like,
I remember we were talking about this.
Yeah. And it's like, if he would, like, yes, absolutely, I would be there. Like, of course. Like,
yeah.
But you can't even ask. Like, I wouldn't even know how to possibly ask something like that. So instead, you just go with the assumption of like, because if there is even the slightest chance that he would want to, want to see me have that conversation, like, yes, then I will go. But in the back of your head, there's that thing of it's like
the guilt.
Maybe it's going to be even worse. Like I don't know. Like if we weren't particularly close. We weren't like,
especially in the United States at the very least, we do not know how to handle death. It is not it is not a healthy part of our culture. It's like always kind of like swept under the rug, kind of. Well,
and for me, for this part of it, it was like he and I weren't close particularly. I know we wouldn't have, like I knew before deciding to go or not that like we wouldn't have much to say to each other. And so like there was that part of me that was like, he has very little time. Like, I don't want to waste the time that he has with having to like talk to me and potentially pretend like, and like the weird like navigation of like us talking as though nothing's wrong, even though we know what we're really there for. I was like, shouldn't he be able to spend this time with the people that like
matter the most to him?
Right.
Like,
which is not me. And that's okay. Like, and I'm not like hurt by that because it's not about me.
Like, I would not want to, like a family member, like there's some things where it's like, you know, like I don't want to like force my kid to go.
Yeah.
But it depends. I'm like, but if that person would like to see them, then I would go, hey man, I know it's really hard. Yeah. But they would like to see you. And I would also argue that if I had a kid, I would talk to them about death, and that like it's very sad, but that's kind of, death is what gives our life meaning, is what gives us purpose and gives us, you know, satisfaction of doing things, because we're only here for so long. Mm-hmm. You know, a thing that I've kind of more, not like directly embraced or anything, but like it just kind of like hits a little different, is like, you know, a little bit of like optimistic nihilism of like, I mean, in the grand scheme of like the universe and everything, like nothing really matters. It's all just like a speck of time. Like, you know, we're little meat people on a little rock or whatever, you know, I mean, unless the earth is a disc, but we're not ready for that conversation.
Well, we're meat people on the disc.
That changes everything.
It really does.
Yeah. But like, since like nothing,
the sun's rotating around us at that point.
Exactly. Like, but like, you know, if like, you know, like that were the case, and like, it's like nothing, you know, like if nothing truly matters, then it's like, then everything matters to you. Like, what you decide matters. Like, so, you know, having, like, being able to enjoy experiences, relationships, like with people. Like, I don't mean just like romantic. I mean like friendships, you know, family, like experiences, connections. Like, that's what matters. That's what gives life meaning. Like, you have to find your own meaning in like what you like, and it's hard because no one can tell you. Like, I'm not you. I couldn't tell you what could fill me with like passion and like fulfillment. It could be boring to you, and you're like, I don't know why you waste your time with it. But it's like vice versa. Like, you know, it's like, you know, you find, you explore yourself. But I think if you stop and like listen to your heart, and it's like, well, I can't do it the way I want to, and it's like, okay, if you can't do something the way you want to do it, what can you do? Which is like a follow-up question, which is like, I feel like it's a secret cheat code, because it wasn't until this year that I discovered that myself, and I've noticed massive changes in my own like behavior and stuff. I never thought to think, well, how could I do it?
Right. Like,
I don't have to do things everyone's way. I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can't do this big thing, but like, how could I get there? What could I do? Hey, it's totally good going in whole hog on something, half-ass something, because if you half-ass it and fail, you're still further than the person who never tried at all. Trying is the hardest thing to do, and that's why I'll always be proud of people that try. I don't care if you pass, like if you succeed or fail, as long as you try, it's what matters. But otherwise, like that, and I don't want people to remember me for shit in my pants.
Yeah,
they're going to.
Yeah,
but if I ever have a living funeral, and you guys put up a sign that says "We love Steve," he pooped his pants once.
Yeah.
Like, well, multiple times, but like there's one time in particular.
One particularly memorable
and
time.
Like people talk about where they were when they had an experience with Steve pooping, because like, unfortunately, I think almost all my friends have a story about me pooping in some capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, and I feel like that would be the theme. And I'm like, although this is very fitting, I'm like, son of a bitch, am I in a fucking a Christmas Story? No, not a Christmas Story.
Miracle on 34th Street.
No. A Christmas Carol. Who's the author? Charles. Okay. Am I in a Charles Dickens novel of like, I'm being forced to see this, and it's like, you better change, and it's like, no, this is just reality. So, thank you, Yggdrasil, for the deep fucking question. Tuesday, today, asked 10 days ago, Eric, you've said you feel like you're most similar to your character Ollie. But which character do you feel like you're most compatible with / would get along the best with?
Milo.
Which do you think Odie would?
Milo seems like a great time. Who do I think you'd get along with? Someone. It needs to be someone irreverent.
What does that mean?
Irreverent? Like like jokey and like not like too serious.
Okay. I think you said like irrelevant. I was like I misunderstood. Okay.
Yeah, not irrelevant, irreverent. Although I don't know if you were around someone that was like more of like a joker person, like I don't know how you'd get along with them, because then it would probably turn to like joke off.
Oh, we're joking off. Joking off over the stroganoff, baby.
I don't know, because I'm trying to think of.
Because you don't want to give Milo again.
No,
because Milo's for you.
No, because I'm trying to think of. Well, I'm trying to think of like the people you're friends with.
You.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think about like, because like people are not necessarily friends with the people that they're like.
That's true.
So I'm trying to think about like who are the kind of people that you have in your life, and who are characters that I have that are like that.
I mean, all of my friends are like good people.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't mean like good or bad. I mean like personality.
I'm saying they're better than me. I am the null achievement. If there was a Zenith in the friend group, I am the nadir.
It's a great rune. It's a great early game rune word in Diablo 2.
Thank you.
Nadir.
Honestly, that astrology 101 class, or not astronomy 101, I didn't pay much attention. My astronomy 101 class paying off dividends. Not in money, but in material for this specific instance.
I don't know. I mean, like, if you get along with me, you'd probably get along with Ollie because he's a lot like me, or Guy, the pizza guy.
Yeah. Because
the pizza guy is me when I'm like fucking around.
Mm-hmm.
So like, probably Guy, because like he's the meme version of me.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, I could hang out with that like Xavier guy, right?
R.I.P.
Oh, not anymore.
Also, you would not have gotten along with Xavier.
No.
He's like maybe in small doses. He's like a team captain-y kind of guy, like an uplift, kind of like very genuine and earnest.
Like he's nice, but like, all right, come on.
Right. You'd keep making jokes, and he'd like laugh, and then be like, "But seriously," and then like
he'd be like, "Hey, let's focus real quick," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm already done."
Well, he would joke, but then he'd be like, "But to bring it back to something real."
It's like, okay, yeah. But like, see, here's the thing, man. You just got to keep going. I'm gonna be joking regardless. So like, say what you're gonna say, or you know, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want any of your friends. I don't need you to make up new friends for me, if that's what this question is.
I don't think it was.
Can you make a new character that I'll be friends
something
with?
About you.
Yeah.
But that's where you took the question.
Well, no. Oh wait, no. I'd be friends with Blake.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
We're close.
You're close knit.
You know, I would not mind doing another voice on your thing. Not to say that you need to or impose you by putting it now in digital content. But I'm like, I can't trust that I'll remember it when we're done, even if that's 10 minutes from now, 5 minutes from now, because I don't always remember everything.
Yeah, I've never been to Odiepus.
Mm-hmm. Looking for questions. Ooh, Rebecca. So this is like another double up, but it's fine because like
double up.
We doubled it. Double up, double stuff. Rebecca asked, would you rather be able to detect any lie you hear or get away with any lie you tell?
Get away with any lie. It has more utility. Sometimes people lie to me for good reasons. Because I lie to other people for good reasons.
Sometimes we lie on purpose. Like there are some times like where like, and also like
people don't have to feel the same way, but I feel that sometimes it's better to
lie,
and
that's okay. I would get so much more value out of being able to get away with lies than knowing that someone else is lying. Like, what the fuck am I supposed? I know you're lying,
right?
But I'm not.
Right.
Okay, so now your power is stupid because now you're just mad. Also,
like everybody lies. Like, let's be honest about that for good and bad. And so like I feel like it would just cause a lot of like strife to know, when it's like sometimes it's better to not know.
Yeah.
Like I am sure that friends have lied to me about things, and like that it was you know it's okay that they did, but that if I had known that they did, even though I could like objectively take a step back and be like, they're saying that because they're trying to like, protect my feelings or something along those lines.
Or it's like, oh fuck, like you gotta coming up with an excuse to not go to an event is lying.
Right. But then knowing that it was a lie, even though I can objectively say like they were trying to be helpful, would get in my head. So I would rather get away with it.
I wouldn't want to like mistrust my friends.
And I wouldn't use it to lie more, I don't think.
I would try really hard not to. I would admit that like I feel like it, because then it's like
I wouldn't use it like against like people in like actually in my life, like,
but like you could use it to commit crime.
Yes.
But then like that's where I'm like the power though is like how much of this magical power, because then it's like at what point is it too much? Like because
word can only get you so far. Spoken word, like just because people will believe whatever you say, like
doesn't mean they'll do it.
Right. There's more steps there.
You got to talk to the manager at the bank.
Exactly.
Well, that's like if like you want to explore this at all, season 1 of Jessica Jones, the Marvel show, that was like, in my opinion, like the best season of it. Like Daredevil season 1 was amazing too, but because I don't care for, I mean, like the newer ones are great, but they're like the Marvel Cinematic Universe as opposed to like the smaller stuff. Jessica Jones, her first villain is, I wanted to say Killmonger, but that's not it. It's David Tennant.
Okay.
And I forget the character's name, but essentially, if you like, he could just go, take off your shirt, and it's like mind control. You just do it.
Okay.
So like,
lucky him.
Yeah. Well, like he'll go like, okay, I've lost your use. Dispose of yourself, and they'll just go and jump off the building. Like. I forget what his name is, but and how she defeats him is really fucking cool. Like it's a whole pain in the ass. She's got like she was with him at some point, I think, if I recall correctly. It was fucked up. It was very fucked up, and it was like not like it was meant to be that way. But like that idea of like I kind of don't blame him in a way, because you do start to sympathize a little bit with him, understanding where it's like everyone just does whatever I want. Like it's boring. Mm-hmm. Like it's not fun. It gets old very quickly. There's no one to challenge me, which is why he's so obsessed with Jessica Jones, because she did break it and she did challenge him. It's like, this is a game now. So, people are gonna say it. I'm gonna look it up because people are gonna comment it, and I just want to like, Jessica Jones villain. What is... No, can you just... Why is it just saying the same episode? Wait, I believe it's David Tennant. Mm-hmm. Kilgrave, that's what it was. I was like, I knew it was a K name. Yeah, Kilgrave. Anyway, you found that out way faster than I did. So
I typed in Jessica Jones, David Tennant.
That was what I had finally searched, and then like, because I did like villain, and I didn't like that. Okay, so I think we're almost done.
Here we go.
Yeah, there we go. Do you remember? This is from Maria. Do you remember any character-defining moments from your childhood?
Yes.
Yeah, we've talked about them before.
Yeah.
So,
and what I find funny, because like, what I find perhaps more interesting than said character-defining moments is the fact that there have been like, quite a few. I've talked about them before and everything.
Baseball bat, which I think about that all the time, which is silly.
Wiffle bat.
The wiffle bat.
But like,
the hoofle bat.
Almost every example that I can think of like a really like page-turning, character-defining moment in my life that involved my parents, I have talked to them about it since, and they have no memory of it. They're like, oh, did I say that? I'm like, yes, you said that.
How could you not remember this? This
you
is
said
so
that
important to me.
That has lived in my head for the rest of my life, and they went, oh, okay.
Is that good? like they're literally they're like, I'm sorry if we fucked you up, and it's like, no,
no, this was like a good thing that you said, and they're like, oh, well, I'm glad I said it then. And I'm like, and I remember like at one point my dad he just went, I said a lot of things. He's like, I raised you. So
yeah.
Like, I said a lot of things over the years.
Dude, that's some insightful shit.
But it's true. I mean, it's like
we're all just
he's my dad. Like he talked to me every day for however 18 years.
Yeah, he probably so
he said a lot.
He probably remembers if he taught you how to fish, like a specific activity, but conversation, it's I don't think he meant to the whole wiffle bat situation. It was very much of just, hey man, you can hurt, this is an explanation.
It was just I did something bad, and so he had to tell me off. I did a lot of other bad shit that he had to tell me off about. So of course he doesn't remember that one example, but it's crazy how memory works.
Yeah.
And that's not just a parent thing. Me, Brandon, and Taylor, they were over a couple weeks ago, and somehow we just ended up going down
memory lane.
Memory lane of trading back and forth memories of high school, and there were so few memories that all three of us recalled. It was very much of do you remember this? And I'm no. The things that people remember is just crazy. Well, even though even in situations, and me, Brandon, and Taylor didn't hang out, all of us in high school much, but in college, whatever.
Yeah.
Shared experiences. So many, so few things actually stick in everyone's head.
Google Photos being hey, here's some stuff from 8-10 years ago, and I'm going, okay, some of this stuff I remember. I don't remember what the context for any of this was. I have no idea. I don't know. I remember that there was a photo, but I'm remembering the last time I remember seeing this picture.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I talked to Brandon about the sheet folding story.
Oh, yeah? He had no memory?
And he's like, that wasn't us. He's like, that was your sister. And I was like, no. He's like, your sister told us that story about when she had that teacher. I was like, no, that was us. And then Taylor was like, yeah, no, that was you two. She's like, I was there.
Remember you telling about me? Or telling her about it?
No, not telling her about it. She was there.
Oh, yeah. She was in it.
She saw it. So she's like, no, you two did that. And then Brandon was like, oh, really? And I was like, yeah. So I'm like, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's if you stop and
it's kind of scary, honestly.
Well, that's why it's if you have a group of people that have some shared memories and you guys stop to really think about it, you we could come up with stuff at the cabin, where it was the cabin episode. It took it there were some stretches where we're fuck, man, I can't remember anything.
Yeah.
It's there's only the stuff that we continue to talk about, but I'm I know there was stuff you and I talked a lot.
Yeah. At
the cabin and whatnot. So
it's crazy, man. Human memory is crazy.
Other question. Would you say you trust people easily?
I trust easily, but only to a very small extent, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll trust people with things that aren't super deep easily.
Mm-hmm.
I'll trust them with work responsibilities or things like that, or that helping me out with little things or whatever. I'm not I'm into it completely untrusting, but personal stuff, no, I don't trust easily with that.
No, I would argue that I am trusting. I'm I relatively trust people, but I will be on guard with strangers.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no reason for me to distrust you, but if you give me any indication that you're shisty, I'm still gonna be honest. I'll take you at your word. I'm not gonna whatever, but also I've been through some shit.
Yeah,
I've been jumped. I've been robbed. I don't fuck with. I keep my head down, keep my music on. Just keep going. You just keep going.
I try to go into things neutral, but neutral still isn't you still have to then earn it. You know, I try to.
Doesn't mean you hate it.
Right. There's a difference between dislike and not liking.
Mm-hmm. Well, dislike and don't like.
Yeah.
I just don't like it.
I don't like it. I don't dislike it. I just don't like it.
Not to mean that I hate it or anything. It's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Bone after teeth. So I think we're at pretty much. Yeah. Okay. We have caught up.
Cool.
So we are done. So this is a longer one that we haven't done, but it was
also super-sized episode.
We also got one question and then went off for 15 minutes and did that 3 times. So, but yeah, it's a fun month. What is it? July. It's July 12th. It's a little over half the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's time for mid-year resolutions. No. should do something.
Finish my fucking backsplash before my birthday. Oh, wait, that's 9 days from now.
Are you going to do that? Do you need help?
I'm going to try to do it. We'll see.
Your choice.
I got other shit to do. It's the problem.
You have a lot of shit. But it's one of those things where it's like, at least from what I've gathered, it isn't like there's specifically a like negative consequence to not getting that stuff done like as soon as possible. But it's like there's all these things that you're like, I want this done so that like we can do this. But it's not like it's like there's like an expectation that like everyone's like, hey, you're gonna have this done in time, right?
Right. It's hard because like there are 3 specific projects that I want to complete before. It doesn't have to be my birthday specifically, but I was like, I want to have the whole friend group over to my place sometime vaguely around my birthday as like a birthday and housewarming thing, because like I've been in this house now for quite a while, but like because like it was very much like there's a million things to do. I was like, I don't want to have like a housewarming party until like, you know, until this house is a home.
I mean, we could also do it on like the 31st, which is a Sunday. It would be the day after my birthday, but as like to celebrate all the July birthdays and your housewarming.
Right. And
but
so I'm
you
like,
are like, if we were to like do a cake, like your name would be on the top and bigger than everyone else's because it is your house.
Yeah. And so it's like there's stuff that I want to get done, but then I'm also like, oh yeah, I gotta get it done. I was like, I gotta get it done so we can like celebrate my birthday. And then I was like, oh yeah, also like if I want to do that, then I need to like, you know, pick a date and like figure out a date that'll work for everybody. I'm like, there's a lot more steps here than just, you know, getting that part to the house done. So I'm like, and then the hateful part of my brain is like, oh, just fuck it, forget it.
Like, don't do a party or don't do any of it.
Party. No, do the stuff,
yeah.
But like, don't worry about a timeline. But I'm like, but you can't do that. You have to give yourself time. But then I'm also like, but I got the channel and I've got real work, and I'm like,
Well, that's why
life.
Well, that's why I was like, I'm not gonna like keep like I don't poke and prod you on a lot of things because I'm like, you got a lot going on, and like,
yeah.
If I do like be like, hey, how about the King Boo onesie? I'm like, I don't want to put more shit on your plate to stress you out.
I'm glad you reminded me because I forgot.
Yeah. I
fully forgot about that.
I anticipated that, and I'm like, it's been like a week or so since then, 2 weeks.
It's been 2 or 3 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks. And so like, I'm like, I'm going to just like, hey, I remembered it because I think you had mentioned that you'd order this stuff. And I was like, oh, that's right. I'm like, hey, like, and that's why I was like, hey, like no pressure or anything. Like, did you also do that? Like, remember, you know, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, fuck. Yeah. Shit.
Sometimes you need pressure.
Well, yeah. But at the same time, it's that like respectful thing.
No. I appreciate it. I'm just saying, like,
I don't want to be bringing it up every time I talk to you because then it's like, okay, I'm causing you stress and it's annoying, and then you won't do it because you're just like annoyed.
No, all I mean is that like, and you're, yeah, we've talked about it. You're the same way of like, give me a date,
please. Oh,
give me a line
do it whenever. It's like, I don't know. And chances are I will still last minute it, but
oh yeah, but I at least will.
Oh, but it gets done.
But I'll know. Yeah.
Oh, I got my apartment done, which I'm glad I turned in the key when I did because the lease was over on Friday, not Saturday. And if I would have been like, I'll just drive over and drop the key off, they still would have been fine with it.
Yeah.
But still. Yeah. So, all right.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, this has been fun. Thank you guys for watching and all the love and support.
Enjoy this XL episode
of
Hype XL.
Although, comparatively in our historic catalog, it is not the biggest, thickest boy.
Not the biggest, but it's a bigger one.
Yeah, it is.
It's up there.
Honestly, it didn't feel that, like, looking at the number, like 2 hours and 42 minutes, it did not feel that long. It definitely felt like over 2 hours.
Yes.
But at no point did it feel like a lull, at least for me. So, this has been the cool down breakdown.
The after show, the podcast after show.
The Hell Yeah Podcast After Dark. So, yeah. All right. Well, all you guys have a good week or whatever. I'm not your fucking boss, man. Do whatever you want.
Continue.
Or cease.
Your choice.
My choice.
Our choice.
Petition your decision, and the court of boys will.
We will decide.
Oh, that could be fun.
Decide what?
This week, instead of question time for next week, it's
decision time.
It's ask hype. Like, Dear Abby, but it's Dear Hype Boys.
Yeah.
And they write out like it could just be bullshit, but like you need advice on this. What's your advice? That could be kind of fun, actually.
Sure.
You want to do it?
Sure.
Say it.
Ask us for advice in narrative form, but only if you're prepared to follow that advice.
Yeah.
To the letter.
Because if we do it again and you ask the same thing, we'll skip it.
That annoys me.
Unless you ask the same thing, but with updated information that you did take this advice and there's been developments.
That's different. It can be the same problem. Look, it can be the same problem, but we need new developments.
I'm sure I got this from you, actually. But
I'm so sorry about that.
I understand. I know. Well, the whole getting it in.
Yeah.
Is like, a friend asks you for advice. Like there was like Tim would always want, there's Tim advice or the Tim decision, which is you ask your friends for advice, but no one validated your shitty decision. So you just make it anyway. And it's like, that's fine, man. But like,
yeah,
you continue to do that and don't ever take I'm like, you don't have to take my advice, but like, it also feels like you don't ever do something different than what you were already going to do. So like,
why just asking.
Exactly.
But we know why they're asking. They're asking for validation.
Yeah. Is like, issue, problem, whatever. I'm like, hey, I'm struggling with this. And you're like, okay, well, hey, like, could you give me some advice? And you're like, here's these things. And it's like, okay, well, the second time I'm like, yeah, I'm still struggling with this. And you're like, oh, have you done anything? I'm like, shit, you know what? Honestly, I haven't, no. But, what was it again? And you're like, okay, you get one freebie.
Yeah, of course.
But then if I come to you a third time and I'm like, yeah, I'm just so stressed out about all this. And like, you're like, have you done anything?
Have you tried anything?
And I'm like, no. And then it's like, then we're done here.
Why are you still asking me?
Shit or get off the pot.
I've given you the only advice I have because nothing has changed. If something has changed, then I can give new advice.
Like, hey, because
if you tried something and it didn't work, okay, now we can brainstorm off of that.
I come in and go, hey, I got an update. So I did try. I didn't try exactly what you said, but what you said got me thinking. And I actually tried this and this sort of thing happened. And like, because like my brain didn't like the way that which is also like, to no offense, I'm never upset if someone doesn't take my advice. And I'm also not a person who gets like a smug satisfaction from like, told you so.
Yeah.
Like I don't, in a joking context that like where I say something and then it happens within like a minute, then it's fun because it's just being a little shit.
Right.
But like in a general sense, no. Like there's no, like there are people that really like told you so. It's like, cool, but like. It
doesn't help anybody.
No, it's like, sometimes though, it's okay to make mistakes. Like sometimes you knowingly have to make a mistake because it's also what your heart's telling you and you have to learn.
Unlike the told you so thing, you already
told you so the tank engine.
You already have the satisfaction
that they failed.
So it's almost better. Like, I don't know. In my head, I'm like, and maybe this is the passive aggressive part of me, but like, if you told someone how something was going to go down, and they were like, no, it's not, and then it does anyway, you already won. Yeah. Circumstances already rewarded you, and that's enough. And it's more powerful to not say anything and to then that other person know that you could. It's honestly a weapon that you inadvertently wield over their head that you could say at any time, but you won't because you already won.
But if you say, I told you so, like, that's purely for yourself.
Now you're petty.
It is petty.
And now you lost, and I'm about winning. Mm-hmm. So you win through silence.
Man, Eric is so kind. Nope, he's winning.
I'm winning.
I'm not kind. I'm a winner.
I'm a winner, baby.
Winners don't gloat.
They don't have to. You already won.
You know who gloats? Losers.
I don't understand sore winners. You already won. Let that be what it is. It was enough.
I mean, I did Science Olympiad when I was in like 4th grade in California, and like it was really cool. Like my dad took me. It was actually like one of my favorite memories of my dad. And like one of them was this contest where we had to make paper airplanes, and you had to throw them down the hallway, and like you could get like there were so many kids from all the schools representing them, and like aerodynamics and stuff. So it's like you got to like send it down, and whoever made it in like the top like 3 did like the like whoever got the furthest, you had to hit a certain point, and if you made it to that point, then your plane made it to the next round where then it was like stacked. I did do it, and I must have hit like an air shaft, and like they did give you 2 throws. So I got to throw it the second time, and it was just shy of like hitting it. And I remember being like so upset that I was like, I'm not like, I didn't get a medal, Dad. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I fucked up. Like, you know, little kid fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad was just like, he goes, what do you mean? He goes, you did so well. He's like, I didn't know. I didn't know if you'd be able to do it. And he's like, but you're competing against a bunch of kids. But like, he's like, what would you do anything differently? And I'm like, well, actually, yeah, after seeing some of the other kids' planes, I kind of like, oh, like I could change the way that I like designed mine. I think I kind of went a little too hard, like, you know, like whatever. And it's like, I learned so much in that experience where like, I think that's kind of where my like, yes, when we play, like I like to be competitive, but I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm like an overall competitive person. Like it doesn't, Smash matters in the fight, and then like once I'm out, I don't give a shit anymore.
Right.
Like it's only fun in the moment to like have some of that competitive, like in Mario Kart, like where I'm like, I want to talk shit for this race when I win, and then I lost the next one. Well, it doesn't matter now. But like we also aren't continuing to bring it up. Like there are people that do that. None of our friends really at all that I can think of.
Really.
Which is just that's good fun sportsmanship. We all get to be toxic, but that's kind of the joke. Is that like we're all being like, you're fucking trash. Delete your Xbox.
All in on
flop.
the joke.
Yes.
The thing with like people where it's like they I don't know, like
if you play FIFA,
like the people where like they win and then like they just like shove it down everyone's throat and brag. Like the thing with me that doesn't make sense is that I'm like, okay, but like you could just fail the next time. Yeah. And now think of what an ass you're going to be.
Yeah. Like on New Year's 2018 when I won 4 games in a row.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And you never stop talking about it?
Never.
And then ever since then you've lost, but you don't talk about those times.
But I also only talk about it because it's like almost like creating it of a meme of itself. Like I don't actually think I'm better than anybody. Like those were most of the wins were circumstantial, but like
I mean, like in the moment when someone like beats and then they're like, oh fuck, and like you're allowed to be excited that you won, of course, or whatever. But like when then you shit on other people, I'm like, you are like I don't even believe in karma as a concept. But I'm like,
you're at
statistically, you are going to lose at some point, and there's a decent chance it's going to be soon, and you are going to look like such a fucking fool for having bragged that much. Like you won, you already won. That's enough. Let the win speak for itself, because otherwise you're going to build yourself up, and then when you lose, everyone's going to fucking mock the shit out of you, and you'll have deserved it because you were a dick.
Now, here's the thing. That's okay if you know that going in, because we also do that stuff.
Right,
like
if you're with people who do that,
yes,
then that's okay.
Like if everyone's in on the joke, like I have fallen further than you will ever rise on Baby Park. You know, like I absolutely, like, nobody beats me 37 times in a row. I'll have you know. I will now talk shit like a fucking king because I finally won a match.
Right.
Because Brandon's controller died halfway through. You know, but like, it's the meme. Like, but at the same time, it's not like the next day and I'm like, man, I was so good yesterday in that race. Do you remember? Because I have known people like that. Like where it's like, oh yeah, like a real good. And it's like there's a difference between like, oh, they're bringing something up because it's like referencing the last time that we did something together. Like there, you can tell there's a connotation, there's a context, and like the people that are just genuinely like, well, because those are the people that then like, if you're like, oh, but I thought you were a golden god. Like I know very damn well. I've been mocked in this house. I think when we were playing with Josh and Brandon after Halo. We were playing Mario Kart and stuff. Mocked about what? No, I was sick. Well, I just like, talking shit. And then it's like, oh, you're not doing so well, huh? You know,
probably,
which I guess but I guess that's not what we're talking about.
No, yeah.
That's all in the game is a game.
Yeah.
Like that's part of the game is the shit talking and whatnot. But it's like that, like, pop off. Like I am absolutely ready to pop off and claim that I'm a god and then immediately be ready to be shit on.
Right.
Like, because like perfectly balanced as all things should be. Like and that's just it. It's just game.
It's on the game. Why you mad?
Yeah.
Why you mad?
It's inside the game.
It's in the game.
There's components.
Pieces. Aren't we all just ones and zeros?
I mean, honestly, everything in life has a 50-50 chance. Either
it does or doesn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you should be the one that does or doesn't, depending on the action.
Depends on what it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes doesn't is better.
Sometimes doesn't is better. God damn it, that was good.
Wisdom.
Yeah. I like that, like, the way that your shirt's, like, folded, rested, is that she's just got her little eyes peeping.
Deanna Troy's just looking.
Mm-hmm.
She's just creeping.
Alrighty.
Shitting.
Pooping. Ice cream. Scooping. All right.
Goodbye.
You got it? All right. Bye.